There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a ride. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for Savannah, I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk, Savannah. I'm coming home, Savannah. We'll never be alone, Savannah. The beauty of the world, Savannah. Let's all take a walk.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now, a little stronger now. there's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again. We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. Lion's gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the lane. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk.
it's time for our second semi-final of the day. We get to see Liquid go up against Big, and let's be honest, it hasn't been an easy journey for Big at all, but to discuss how they got here and how both teams have made it to the semi-finals, joining me as always is Maniac and Mitch, and this is the one that I would say becomes the more tactical fight when we discuss how this could go down, right? Because yes, Liquid can frag, and at times we see Big frag as well, but it's going to be the battle of the minds, I think, when it comes down to it, especially when we see the veto and how these choices come into play.
Yeah, I was going to let you jump on it. It is.
I was doing the same.
Listen, it's true that the tactical aspect of Counter-Strike is usually seen as one of the big advantage or strength of a team like Big, right? Sure, individually, so far in this tournament, Nex is popping off. TabseN is being TabseN, which is basically the luxury of having a player who's almost always going to show up. Smooya is having good games as well. But definitely, when you talk about Big, you talk about Go B, and you talk about precision, talk about hard work ethic. And in that sense, yes, this should be a tactical battle. Because when you go up against Liquid, this would be maybe the only domain, the only sector where I could give them a little bit of an edge. Because when it comes to player, Liquid is no joke. Yeah,
head-to-head, Liquid, they have what they need, right? And it's more about what can Big do to upset it. We saw them manhandle Tyloo by just knowing everything that they had planned. But with Liquid, this is not going to be possible, right?
I would say so. You know, they have been quite a surprising team, though, throughout this. I mean, we've seen the likes of Elige step up recently, which was really nice to see. The one thing I would say, though, about Big, in general, you would look towards their biggest favor, no pun intended, being their tactical side of the game. This time, though, Nex has been such a solid player supporting tabseN, who, like, we've seen up against the likes of Navi dropping 60 kills in 2 maps. And that consistent performance from him, backed up by Nex, if they're on form today, this could be real trouble for Liquid, who we've already said, you know, we don't want to highlight it too much, but they have trouble closing out these tournaments. And to go out in the quarterfinals, this would be, it's a lot of pressure on them to win this match.
I think that the next debate is an interesting one here because, and you have said very rightfully that he's an emotional player. He has been an emotional player in the past, and he's had tremendously good performances. He's disappeared off of maps. And think about it, this is where the pressure is the highest. This is where they need, or he need to perform. And this is the context where, if you're an emotional player, this is where it's going to get to you. You know, you're in the semifinal or you're in the playoff. It's the big stage. It's the big important game. So for him, that's going to be a big test because, yes, at the moment he's firing on all cylinders. But can he do that now? Can he do that against Liquid in the playoff?
Well, this brings us quite nicely, right? Because yes, Nex is an emotional player, but also Mr. Smooya himself, he is quite the emotional player when it comes down to it. We've seen him have great games. We've seen him have games where he is just frustrated. You can see it on his face. But even better, we have an interview with the young man, the Brit, on the German team to see what he had to say ahead of this match against Liquid.
Welcome back. My name is Drolon, and joining me for this one is Biglan Smooya, who's here to talk a little bit about his team's performance at this event. So, looking at this event, how would you evaluate your run so far?
I guess like every event for us, which is like a roller coaster, we always start off slow because we always expect to outplay our opponents easily because how well we play in practice. Never goes that way because we're Big Clan, and then we have to actually focus up and stuff, and then play our game and just destroy people like always.
Right, I want to ask about that because we've seen that Cologne, at the Major, at Star Series, and even here, like, you guys get this close to elimination and then you just battle your way back. Why does this always happen to you?
Like I said, we always just were like overconfident going into most events, and we're starting to learn to fix that. Even here, I still think we should have took the first game, like we weren't lazy or anything. But normally, we're not really too focused. We just focus on our own game. And sometimes that isn't enough, and you have to prepare for the enemy. And then when we start preparing for the enemy, it's GG, man. People get smashed, so yeah, we just need to have a bit more motivation from the start of the event and not have to think like, oh, we can go out tomorrow, we have to try hard. You know, we should try the hardest straight away, and we'll do really good at every event.
So before this at IEM Chicago, obviously you didn't get the result you wanted. However, you did beat Navi, who has been one of your biggest rivals in the past few months. What happened there which finally allowed you to overcome them?
tabseN got 60 kills, so that's the only reason why we won.
It's all tabseN then?
The only reason.
On the topic of rivals, you have Team Liquid coming up tonight. Without revealing too much, do you have anything like special in store for them?
Not special, like myself personally, no. Maybe Gob does, I don't know. He hasn't told us yet. I just want to watch a couple of demos, see how they like to play, their positions. I know most of their positions anyway because like I've watched them before. Just get a refresh in my mind and just play our own game this time because they're like a weird team where they don't play normally because they don't really have an AWPer. So it's really hard to play against because you don't know if there's actually going to be an AWPer on an angle. So I think I'm going to go for like many aggressive moves, like always, like more than usual. And yeah, hopefully I can get the openings that my team need.
You've heard it from the man himself. Smooya, thank you for your time, and I wish you the best of luck against Liquid.
More aggressive than usual, Smooya says. I like it. I like the confidence. But like you said, right, it is difficult to play against Liquid. They don't have that dedicated AWP. We see Taco picking it up recently as well, trying to chime in there when I want to run that double AWP setup. And that's a hard game to play at, right? Because at least if you know you're going in for it, you can't tell if Nitro's going to pick it up, Taco's going to pick it up, or if they'll even be one.
I mean, definitely, you know, when we talk about Liquid and the fact that they don't really have a dedicated AWPer, we often take the side of saying, well, this is something bad for them, that this is an hindrance for them. But like Smooya said, to prepare against them, when you're the AWPer of your team, you don't really know, like in a typical matchup, you're supposed to know who you're going to go up against as an AWPer, and you're supposed to know what positions he plays, so you can prepare for it. You know, if you play Mirage, you know it's probably going to be in the window, in a CT spawn, you can prepare for that. But when you play against Liquid, and the AWP can rotate around the lineup in general, then yes, it becomes hard to predict, and what is supposed to be, in my opinion, like an obstacle or a limit, could actually be a strength.
And that's the thing, right? When it comes to Big and how they're going to approach the game, we always talk about the tactical side behind it. But even then, when we see they have a tactical advantage, they're making the right decisions in terms of positions and free-throwing. The thing that lets them down against the very top teams like your Navis, your FaZe, your Astralis, and even your Liquids, right, is that they just couldn't frag enough for it. But when I go back and look at them games, that's when Nex wasn't playing so well.
And he's on form so far. It's something we've said already. And a lot of these games, he's been outshining tabseN, and that's certainly impressive considering he was the heavy lifter throughout all of IEM Chicago. To be honest, if we started here and you said Nex was going to be the one that was top fragging most of these games, I'd have called you out on that. It's certainly not expected. And it's really nice to see a player like that surprising us. We've still seen Big struggle a little bit throughout the tournament, but look, coming into this matchup, it would be a massive feat for them if they could take Liquid down here, and they're not going to underestimate this at all. I think they're coming at this with 110%. Smooya said he doesn't know if they have anything special planned. I'm sure Gobby's got something in the back of his mind. He's got his research done.
Yeah, I think that's Smooya just being like, hey, I'm not going to give too much away now. Because the thing is, right, when you're in an interview like that and Smooya's an open, honest Brit, he'll just come out and say it. Yeah. He didn't want to let anything come out. So I know damn well he's making sure he's holding something back here. Now, one thing, right, he's like, and this is the thing I don't agree with. Smooya's like, well, we do well in practice, but like it's different when we get into the game. Well, funny enough, practice games don't count, right? You could beat Astralis 10 times in practice, and I'm pretty sure they'll still wreck you when it comes to the LAN. But for me, practice is where you're trying things out, you're testing things, you're getting yourself ready mentally, making sure things that are personally working out there. But it's just not comparable to this kind of situation.
No, it isn't, and obviously for many reasons. First of all, I don't know who said it in an interview before today, but your opponents, sometimes they don't take it that seriously. Maybe they want to practice a very specific type of game, so you end up with a practice that doesn't really have any allure, and it's just weird. But I think for a team like Big, I hope they use practice very seriously, because it is one of their strengths that, you know, they have the detail, they have maybe that pop flash. In that sense, they make me think of a little bit of an Astralis in the sense that they optimize their game, and usually their tactic that they run, they go deep in the details. But I think what differentiates them from the real top of Counter-Strike at the moment is what happens when you go out of the plan A? What happens when, you know, you have prepared everything in a tactic and suddenly you drop someone dies in a tactic that's not expected. How do you react to that? That becomes then spontaneous reactions, and in that sense, they are not up there yet. When they can completely plan the round, then sure, you can show beautiful Counter-Strike as we've seen, but when it goes a little bit raw and savage, then, you know, that's when you could see flaws and cracks in the game.
Now, we've gone in for a treat. We've got a double set of interviews this time. So before we get into Liquid, let's hear what Taco, the man who's smiling on your screen, maybe he knows what we're saying. How's it going, Taco?
Good afternoon. My name is Drawlon, and joining me for this one is none other than Team Liquid's Taco. Taco, how has Malta been treating you so far?
Malta is just really beautiful, and I'm really happy to be here.
I'm very glad to hear that. So let's get right into it. We should start at your last event, which was the ECS finals. Obviously, going out in last place, not winning a single map, it was not the result that you wanted. So what was off about the team there which resulted in such a result?
In my opinion, first we played a BO1 in a map that is kind of difficult, which is Nuke. We actually have a really good Nuke, but when it comes to a BO1, everything can happen. And the first match was kind of bad for us. We felt kind of rusty. And then we played a BO3 elimination match against Energy. Right. And in my opinion, that series was, if not the worst, one of the worst series that I have ever played for Liquid, not individually, but as a team. We played really bad. We had a lot of mistakes.
Right. Now, before ECS, you played at IEM Chicago, where you met with Astralis in the grand final, and of course you lost to them. But what's interesting is that in 2018, you faced Astralis 9 times in a series, but you didn't really manage to win a single one. What do you think it is about this rivalry which is preventing you from finally making that step and taking them down?
Astralis is a super difficult team to play against. Sometimes they just played better. Right. I mean, most of the times they just played better. I feel like our map pool for them is pretty bad because they have the best nuke in the world. They are 25-0, I think, or 26, something like this, record in this map. So every series that we play against them, we already start 1-0 for them. So we were even thinking about playing Train. We veto Train. Actually, we played Train before. Our Train was not that bad, but we decided to veto it after some bad results. So now we were thinking about playing Train instead of playing Nuke against Astralis. So maybe it wouldn't start 1-0 for them.
Right, so focusing on your team a little bit. You had this set up with the AVP for some time now, you know, with Nitro picking it up. How does your team feel about that? In theory, would you feel better if you would have like a actual like dedicated opera on the team?
I don't think we really need it. We proved already that our system works. Really, we have 5 really good aim players and rifle players, and having an opera right now, I don't know if it would change a lot.
Now, some people believe that your struggles come from having a mental barrier. Would you agree that's the case, or do you think there's something more which is preventing you from becoming the best team in the world?
I think that's a hard question. It's really hard to talk about it. Of course, I think that is a mental block, or I don't know how to explain, but there's something in our minds, of course. And also, sometimes it's just lack of preparation. Tournament that proved that we have some mental block was, in my opinion, was ESL New York that we lost to Mousesports. We had this game, we had this grand finals. We were playing really well the entire tournament. And when we lost that one, I had a really bad feeling. And it was not lack of preparation, it was not an in-game problem, it was a mental thing. And yeah, so I think we have this mental thing we had. We have been working with our esports psychologists lately. Liquid has been helping us a lot as well lately, and thankfully we have a really good organization that can provide us with the best. And we have been working this part, and I hope we can improve and fix that.
Right, so coming to this event, what kind of expectations did your team set for yourselves going into this event?
We want to, not just win, we want to destroy everyone, and it would be a really boost of confidence for us, and maybe we can break the mental block, we can break the curse, whatever it is.
A boost.
And then get the boost of confidence for the next ones.
Right, so next up you obviously have the ESL Pro League finals, and with that you will basically finish the year. So looking back, yeah, you lost a few finals, but do you feel satisfied with what you achieved in 2018?
Definitely, it was a good year for Liquid. In general, for my teammates, for my organization, even for me as well, it was a good year. When I joined Liquid, we were in the 90th, I think, yeah. We were the 90th best in the world in the ranking, and we got to the second. Now we are third. So I think it was a good year.
It was a good year, and we hope you will have an even better year in 2019. I wish you the best of luck, and I would like to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Multiple points we can touch on there. And I think the first one we're going to look at is what we were kind of discussing already. The fact that they don't have a dedicated AWP in hand, and that actually isn't something that they consider to be a problem. He wants to destroy everyone in many ways, Old Taco. He's bringing out the biceps as well. I think the whole point with this is that, yes, okay, so many teams believe you must have an AWP to make it work, but Liquid have proven that they are the number 2 team in the world at the moment, right? They have constantly strived to push things and get to all these grand finals. They've been more consistent than 90% of the other teams out there, right? And we shouldn't take anything away from that just because we can't see them get that victory and lift the trophy. Lifting trophies is what they all want, right? That's what we're here for. That's why they're playing out. But that's not the be-all and end-all.
No, definitely, and I think that's a recurring theme in Counter-Strike, and it's probably very specific to that discipline in the sense that whoever is not first is failing. That's how I feel sometimes when I read the community, watch the reports and stuff like that. And if you're number 2, if you're number 3, then you must make a change. Something you do is wrong. You need an AWPer. You need a lineup change. Objectively, Liquid have had a good year. They were consistent, and there's nothing to feel bad about. Yes, they could be number 1, but let's take it easy on them.
Completely agree with that. And the reason we're not talking about the first 2 maps being banned out on these veto, this is because it's their insta-bans.
It is.
It's kind of exactly what we expect to happen here. And now this is where it can get interesting. Which order do we go? How do we think this will face, guys?
Well, we see Liquid go for Inferno pick. That's a map they have played 26 times in the past 3 months, 70% win rate. That is a very high number considering how many times they've played it. Now, as it goes for Big, they have 2 possibilities. Numbers says 2 possibilities. Does 2 overpass? Well, as I was trying to build up the hype, there you go. They pick overpass, and actually that makes a lot of sense because the other possibility would have been Dust 2, and it's a more puggy map where individuals can have more impact. Overpass is a tactical map. We've said it. That could be one of the aspects where Big could have an edge on Liquid. That is still a very conditional situation, but Overpass makes sense, right?
Of course it does, and one of the other things is Dust is a map that Liquid are comfortable on. Not so much for Liquid. Out of 6 times they've played it recently, they beat a team called Azio. That's it. Everybody else they've lost to, and it's been a map that they struggled with as well against NRG. It was the only map that they lost.
A Nuke pick comes in, though, at the end, and Nuke, I've seen some good results on that from both sides at points.
Numbers says that it's a little bit at the bottom of the list for both.
Yeah.
That would be like that 5th map, the map that you don't really veto, but you don't really want to play either, so you just leave it there. So if it comes to Nuke, that could be messy, but I think it's going to be a battle for Big to just bring it to the 3rd map.
Now, you're speaking about the stats and how it plays out, right? We can only look so much into this for Liquid because, yes, Liquid have played it 26 times. A lot of maps being played there. A loss to FaZe, respectable. A loss to Astralis, no problem. The complexity one you may be able to question. You take down Ghost and NRG on it, pretty strong. While for Big, at least, it's Tyloo beaten, Na'Vi twice, a loss to NRG and a win against G2. But remember, a lot of that's the online Pro League side of things as well.
Listen, by no means is Big a bad team on Inferno, right? I want to say that. That's a map that they play. They know how to play. They've had innovations when it comes to the meta of the map, mostly on the T side. But the problem is, quite simply, they go up against Liquid. That's the issue, right? If playing against any other team, I could say, yeah, Inferno is a pretty good map to pick. Big should be happy with it. But they go up against Liquid, which is a map they're very comfortable on. They've played it many, many times, which also means they have many different ways to play it. They have a lot of variation in what they can do. So yes, Big is a good team on Inferno, but they go up against Liquid.
Now, the good thing, though, right, if we're looking at Big and their preparation, is that there is so much to look at from Liquid, right? So if Gob and the guys have been doing their homework there and kind of looking down at it and saying, hey, look, we can see some tendencies we can work off here, does that give them a slight edge in it? Does that give them a chance? Or will it come down to, okay, look, Inferno, let's be honest, hasn't changed. It's stayed the same now for a long time. People know it inside and out. This means that Liquid can just play their game and play their fragging game as well, which we've already covered. Big will struggle to fight against.
Well, I think for them to have a chance in Inferno, we have to see something like what we were talking about. Gobby having some inside strategies, having that good research done, and knowing how to combat what they're going for. I'm not sure that I'd give them favor coming into this, even if that is the case, but I give them a chance. And Overpass, I could see going to a 3rd map. Like, Overpass is 1 out of 6 wins for Liquid recently. Even when they beat that team Azio, it was a 16-12 victory. So it wasn't, it was online CS as well, so you got to take that into account. But it's not a very comfortable map for them. And it is a very comfortable one for Big. And I think they have a 70% win rate on it. And so you see something like that come through, I can see it going to Nuke, and that middle ground would be very interesting. I really do hope we get to a third map, because that's when the scrappy kind of CS comes into play.
Listen, let's put it this way. If Big is ever going to take a map, then that should be Overpass.
Yes.
Right? But
Yeah.
even the problem is Liquid is so good. And I was even thinking about, preparation. You said Big is a team that likes to prepare. Surely they do. But the thing is, because Liquid play just fundamentally good Counter-Strike, I don't feel like they have such specific tactics that you would look at and you could counter and this is exactly what they're doing. It's just overall they play good Counter-Strike. They have good principles. Individually speaking, they are very good, which means that when you look at Liquid play, it's harder to find that one anti-tactic. Like, they do this specifically. That's how we're going to beat them. Maybe that's a little bit more the case with Big, who have a little bit typified playstyle, I would say, that you could see come. But because Liquid is just fundamentally sound and good, they are hard to predict and hard to counter.
I guess so. For that simple reason, you can kind of say because the win conditions are so numerous for Big and quite few for Liquid, you can kind of say that they're. That's a clear reason that they're favorites coming into this, let alone that they're, within those top 3 teams in the world. It's a big hurdle for Big to overcome. That was actually unintentional. But
it's okay, we all do it. Don't worry about it.
It is a large hurdle for Big to overcome, but I don't know. We've seen Liquid struggle in games they shouldn't struggle in before, especially towards the latter end of tournaments. If they're going to go out to anyone, it would be Big at this stage.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now, let's look at this, let's get ourselves ready to make our wonderful predictions that we love to make when it comes down to it. We've got Big now, Inferno starting CT side, they win the knife, maybe give them a slight chance to build some rounds early on here, but does that change kind of the tone that we've had on this desk so far, where we're seem to be very much leading towards Liquid?
Listen, I want to believe in the Big story, but the truth is Liquid is going to win, and I could give Overpass to Big, considering maybe a little bit of a shaky performance from Liquid and Big being really on fire, and then the tactics come into play and they win Overpass. But I really do not see how they could win that best of 3. That is Liquid all the way for me.
Mitch?
I gotta say pretty much the same. It's you do want to see Big win. It would be nice to have them going on to the finals and progress up the ladder, but it's Liquid. I mean, just like we said before, the win conditions far outnumbered on the Big side than on Liquid. So.
Now I'm in a world where I'm actually going to go against you guys.
Oh, really? Is it happening?
It is happening.
Let me just take note of this moment where you decided to go against
messed
me.
up. That's what you're going to write down.
There you go.
Right?
Time stamped.
They put Liquid down at the bottom of my name. You're not paying attention, guys. I haven't finished yet.
They just had it ready to go.
Yeah, they're like,
even they know who's going to win this game.
They're definitely going to know. My world and my thought process behind this is I believe in Smooth. I believe that we've seen a good Nex so far. Chad mentioned it yesterday. Nex has got his cap back on. That was taken away. Players couldn't use that. Maybe this is the chance that Big have it here. Map-wise, statistic-wise, it's all favoured in Liquid's favour. But I just believe in that gob, Smooth your magic. Let's see if we can make it happen. That's it.
The faith. That's all you can have.
Faith. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Mate, I've got to wave my British flag somewhere, right? I've got to try and make it work. But that's us over and done with. I didn't go with Liquid Production. Thank you for trying to screw me over again. I definitely went with Big. Let's see how this goes. We're going to be giving it over to Matt and Chad to see how they can take this game and maybe what they think about how this is going to go down.
I don't agree with James Banks, Chad. I think it would be a Malta meltdown if Liquid lose this.
Wow.
Just come out with a bang on that one.
There was a thing I was saving. I'm going to save it. I'm actually going to save it.
Save it. Do it.
Well,
save
it was something to do with
Here
Supernova.
Here he comes.
No.
He's gonna break the fourth wall.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah. All right.
The whole mystery's
This is
been
a little
ruined.
awkward. He's gonna strangle me, everyone.
The mystery's
if I
been
die,
ruined.
it was James Banks. Just making
know
it clear
who-
now. Tell my mom.
Do you know who killed me at the Faceit event?
No, who was it?
I don't know. Apparently it was everybody. Apparently you all killed me.
Oh, it's like one of those Murder on the Orient
Yeah.
Express things. We all did it. Oh, that's lame. It should have been DDK.
Maybe.
Because then everyone would have expected it to be James, and then it was just DDK all along. He's pulling all the strings.
That's
Yeah.
some next level stuff. But let's get back to the game, I suppose, as a bit of a focus. Here's a fun fact, Matt. You know I love my fun facts. With the last 3 months on LAN, Liquid have played 52 matches. That is quite a lot of games to have played on LAN in the last 3 months. That's LAN only, and that's how we had ECS and Pro League running over that same period of time. They would have played over 100 matches in the last 3 months. That's a lot of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that is a ton of Counter-Strike, and the problem is that a couple things have changed in the last year. Speaking with Steve, their manager, he was kind of saying along the lines of, despite being in such a beautiful country in Malta, they're not really that adventurous right now, and going out and doing things during the day is not a priority for them. When he said when they're a top 10 team, a little bit less pressure, they would do that, but now that they're in the top 3, they're feeling like, well, and this is the thing, right? They feel like they need to get that win because it's been haunting them continuously so many times. So despite how much Counter-Strike they've played, there's also been a lot of heartbreak and misery within that. Just, tons of success, sure. Definitely a top 3 team in the world right now. Probably the most consistent North American roster we've ever seen, yet they just can't get that final check mark.
I'm going to go as far as saying if they get the victory here, that might be what they need to unlock
floodgates.
themselves. But this is a bad way to kick things off.
TSM was like that, just for the note. It took them forever, and then once they started winning, they didn't stop.
We need to note that Tizian was knifed on the pistol round. That's a bad way to kick things off here for Big. So Tizian will drop down to 64 points of health, but Liquid are taking this very slow. They are waiting for any aggression, any pushes, any risky maneuvers from the Big clan. 3 members over towards Apps and Alt Middle. 2 stacked up towards Banana for any aggression there. Utility in the hands of Nitro, a smoke and a Molotov. Tizian, the man who we mentioned was knifed, has 2 flashbangs and a kit, and they have a 3-man presence over towards that B-bomb site, with Tizian ready to flash, and the CTs towards the Banana, Smooya, and Old Boy Gobby ready to pick.
Tabson, pistol in hand. I certainly can hear them down the bottom of the hallway, but won't be able to do anything of it. They're actually going to back off that, having not spotted anyone, bomb included, for Liquid. And they'll take their interests elsewhere. They do not want to bank at A. Now tries to jump back out from the corner. It's Smooya that's up close and Gobby to take out a Liege. That will actually send them back to A. Business is closed on Banana. Smooya shuts down Nap as well. It's 2 for the price of none. Raptor quad, excuse me, from Arch, however, because a single smoke toward Library. Tizian on rotation gets caught. So does Gobby. Great shots, and all of a sudden it's Smooya that's got to run back up Banana to confront in what is a 3-on-3, 1 versus 3 in his situation, but it's the right kill. Bomb is down. Taco able to grab that behind the wall without being spotted, but Smooya can buy some time sitting to water as they all work out from Banana. Great shot from Nitro. This is a daring plant, I have to say. Single Molotov tries to keep them out. They get it down, but the shots come into Taco before his gun can be drawn. And they know exactly where Nitro is. He's got to be perfect. In some ways, probably best he has the Glock over the USP in this situation, due strictly to the ammo, but he couldn't bait them in.
Oh, that one could have gone. If that Molotov landed a split second earlier, they would have been kept on out. Repositioning could have come in for the Liquid players, and that one would have fallen in their favor. But a fantastic opening. The Banana aggression came in handy. They get those opening kills. And look at Gob. He's having a big old grin, probably about the knifing that happened earlier to kick things off.
Sorry, mate. Didn't mean that.
Well,
Except he's German. It wouldn't sound like that.
Was that an Australian accent?
I don't even know what it was.
You gave it a crack.
Let's give it New Zealand. That's the safe bet.
I theorized yesterday, Matt, after the absolute domination that came in from the likes of Big against Tai Lu, and Nex finding himself as the second highest rated player in this tournament, the Volcom hat. He was allowed to wear it back in 2015, early 2016. The rule came in. The hat went away. Nex dropped off the face of the earth, but the hat's back, and so is the fragging prowess.
Is it the same hat?
It's a Volcom hat, and I don't know if it's the exact same one, but it's the same brand. There's something
Crims used to have that in the city hat that he always wore.
Yeah. Something about that. I guess it's, that layer of protection.
It's Frosty, the snowman.
Look how early the Orgs have come out, though.
I was pointing that out. Yeah, there's 2 of them already, and Big seems to be, instead of having like everyone has 1 player on the team that plays that weapon, Big seem to just bring it out for everyone lately. Tabson taking down Taco. Perhaps they're the first team to fully embrace the meme that is Valve. I like the AUG. It's okay.
I think it's cool. I don't think it's ever going to completely take over. I might be wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times before.
Same.
With this 4v4 situation that Deagle's postured, they're going to wait out utility because you want to make sure you're getting that bank balance of Big down as low as possible. So even if you don't win the round, you're keeping them honest, you're making sure they have to reinvest in that utility. The only person with a lot of kit left is Tizian. And now they also have an opportunity that if they can regrip and find a gap as a unit, maybe they can swing onto an area, and Tizian appears to be the man who might have a lot of danger his way. I say that. Thompson finds a kill over to Warns. Taps, I believe it was.
Tabson, contact placement toward the arch and timing it.
Great flash.
Perfectly and catches that NAF. The only thing I will say, Twist, good shot. Was a good flash. The one thing I will say about the AUG is you can kind of see it there. If that was an M4, he probably would have stayed and sprayed both at once. He had to repeat just the timing of the shots, the rate of fire, significantly lower in those transfer situations.
All right, just to catch everybody up.
Yes, go.
Statistically speaking, on this map,
Get your pens out, people.
Big have played this 6 times on LAN in the last 3 months. They've won at 3, lost at 3. Smooya is the highest rated player for these guys on Inferno, followed by Nex, followed by Tabson. So Nex is going to have to continue that form here if they want to grab the victory. For the other side of things, it's a pretty standard order. We got Twist, we got NAF. Those boys up towards the top, followed by the likes of Elige. Then it is Taco on Inferno, and Nitro is the player coming in as the worst rated for that of Liquid. But to note on that, Nitro is the 2nd highest in terms of opening kills. Think about how that snowballs and affects rounds. And he is the highest in terms of flash assists, means he's setting teammates up. So he might be the lowest statistically speaking, but think about that impact.
He's the leader, the in-game leader.
And they've won 15 out of 26 pistols to Big, who have won 6 out of 12. So pistol round win advantage is normally in the favor of Big if we looked at these guys head-to-head.
Sorry, no, it would be Liquid, yeah.
Yeah, Liquid.
By like 15%.
But by Big winning this one.
What are the exact percentages? It would be 50 and 60. How much?
57 points on
50, I was going to say 62. I just did it quickly in my head. I don't even remember what you said. I was just guesstimating.
15 out of 26.
Nice. Nitro forced back. Flash out. Taco. He's thinking about making contact. Meanwhile, over toward B. We're watching a Krieg in the hands of Elige fall down the lane. That means we've got 2 AUGs and 1 Krieg in play. This is COD, everyone.
Where are the helicopters?
Is that a helicopter noise?
Yeah, but
yeah,
they aren't in this game. But the attack towards the A bomb site is about to see what Liquid have. Molotovs and nades rain on out.
Line it up. AUG again, not able to fire. Tizian wants it over the MP9, just barely got it in his hands. Massive damage done as well on the Nitro. That allows Tabson to push through, take him down with the subsequent AUG. Smooya is on a flank. However, he's just Godby to work with, and I think the call's been made. Both have kits, both have armor, might as well get away with it.
That's one of the hold on to the edge of your seat type moments there. When you are executing onto a bomb site with 20 seconds left, all it takes is one well-timed flash and a peek from a CT to shut things down. The bomb getting dropped in a position where it can't be collected and it falls apart. But Liquid able to keep their cool.
Oh, and Butterfield.
It does sound like a very prim and proper name, doesn't it?
Does a little bit, yeah.
I bet he went to a private school.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Don't blame you. Oh, I did. It was all right. That's pros and cons. More uniforms.
Yeah. Well, we had uniforms, but
I think that's standard.
In Australia?
Yeah, and part of the UK as well. Some schools in the UK as well.
Yeah, we don't have that American style where you... Is it like that in Canada where you can wear whatever you want at public school?
Yeah.
I would hate that. I would run out of clothes.
Well, it's that, and it's too many... The cool thing with everyone being in the same uniform, although you can like argue it takes away personality, it gives you less to segregate.
Yes,
like you can't call people out for style or like people who can't afford as nice clothing, whatever. That's out of the question. Which is kind of nice. Good nades. Didn't do as much damage as I would have thought, actually. Nitro just gets tagged by the flames backing away. I thought that was going to detonate in his ear by the looks of the toss, but not quite. Passive nonetheless, based on the utility used inside a banana. Again, down middle, barely touches Taco. Elige already boosted on the half wall. Not bad having an AK there. Standing and waiting for anyone to peek out. You pretty much need, I think, an op to be pre-firing that angle, or sorry, pre-aiming that angle to win that exchange with Elige standing and waiting for someone to slow peek. But this will be a full banana execution, and they're going up against very little inside of the site. In fact, just Smooya. He's got a kid, call it that.
It's delayed as well, which is allowing a rotation to come in. You can see the tentative nature in which they're limping on over because he hasn't heard anything. He hasn't called their attacking, but now it's going to be too little too late. Nitro's going to find that opening, leading into that stat I was talking about, and you'd assume a save at this point.
I think Smooya was trying to be clever. He was above, waiting for them to come in, which is kind of a one-and-done position in that situation, but he knew that they Molotov'd out Orange's one. So by dropping down silently, he was going to sneak in after the Molotov, but Got caught.
I'm going to continue to dump stats on people.
Do it. I love numbers.
So the reason that I'm get all these out early, ladies and gentlemen, is so that I can reference these points later and give you more context as the game flows on. So right now, I've done my stats on HateredTV.org, the greatest stat website in Counter-Strike history. They do
That's very interruptive, Taco.
They do a fantastic job. Yeah, Taco, shh, we're talking. So on LAN, in the last 3 months, looking at the filter of the top 20 teams on Inferno, for utility usage, ADR.
Damn, shut up.
There we go. Now we're good. ADR, so that's average damage around with utility. Who would you say is number 1 in the world? Top 20 teams.
I didn't even hear the question because of the damn bell.
So ADR,
Yes.
utility usage on Inferno. Who do you think is number 1?
I would have said Astralis.
Yes, and you're right.
Yeah, okay.
Swiftly followed. So they're at
By
39.7. No, by Liquid.
Really?
At 35.7, and then it's Big.
Is that average?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say it has to be because obviously teams have played
Both of these teams are in the top 3 teams in the world right now of the last 3 months for average damage around with utility. So as that grenade lands on Taco's feet, there's already 30 points of damage done in 1 round with utility. So keep an eye on how that one plays on out. And I believe that Big is number 2 in the world right now with flash assists on this map. Number 1 is MIBR.
Interesting, that one.
So let's see how those...
I guess probably a lot of that's like people flashing Fallen in on Banana and him just wrecking them.
They were doing a lot of that in the early stages, and we've already seen here in this game, especially with that arch play from Tabson with the Orb in the early stages against the Deagles, he was flashed into 2 kills. So, and that will not only illuminate teamwork, but it'll show you the finer elements of Counter-Strike. It's not just about pointing and clicking. A lot goes into this to make it happen. Right now with this default spread, Liquid were just hoping to garner a little bit of map control, but Taco goes down and push forward. Tizian didn't expect a player there, but the fact that he was blind to that and pushed across actually drew the fire of Twist, allowing Tabson to step on out and get another kill. So they quickly have to scurry over towards B. Look at this, it all falls apart. Big using the weaponry they had to their advantage, leaving a lot of pressure on Nitro and Elige.
Next, pushing back up. Smoke goes down. He'll push directly through it, knowing that there's still one countering topside Banana. They'd be gray screened if they ran at him, so there's no reason not to try and push it. Nitro and Elige. The old duo. Back to 2016. Smoke off 20 seconds. I don't think we're going anywhere, Chad.
No,
I think we're just going to hang out in the kitchen and bake some eggs. I had
eggs?
eggs on pizza.
Oh yeah, just then they were boiled.
They were. It was okay. I didn't need 2 pieces of pizza, but for some reason you bought a 3rd one.
Well, because the limit was €5 on the machine.
Yeah, could have just given them cash, and then my gut would thank me for it.
We need to move away from cash. Anyway, they're going to pick up 2 AKs. There we go. So that is really going to help them because those were saved weapons. That's a throwback right there. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not sure what that is on that screen, that is Counter-Strike 1.5.
Yeah, my high school days. Speaking of the private school, we all used to play Counter-Strike there. My favorite thing to do in 1.5 and 1.6 was spam closet with an M4 because it would go straight through closet into the tunnels.
Yeah, it was really...
That was actually an OP spam.
Well, they
if
weren't
you knew
intuitive,
the timing.
but once you learn... This is the thing with 1.6. Like, it wasn't intuitive. That kind of stuff... Hold up a second. Wait up.
That's a like Smooya. He nearly got away with it. Flashed, blinded, trying to get back. Thankfully, a Molotov will allow him to do so. Yes, they weren't intuitive, some of the wall bangs. Like, that's a good nade.
Jeez, he almost got completely stuck
I think that
and
was
slowed down.
Double nade, wasn't it?
There was a Molotov on the ground, and the nade slowed his progression.
Yeah, a lot of the lineups, like that wall's not, that's a big black space when you look at the overhead map, right? But it was a sick wall bang, because they lined up with the tunnel entrance, too.
I like this quad setup right now from Big. They can play together, and they can also pivot and fight. If they go arch side, it isn't the end of the world. Like, you would be fighting to hold on to that territory. So right here, right now, it means that they don't have to throw out their utility in the same trickle format. They can be more guns on because of the trade potential. Normally, when you're strung out, wow, priority to get rid of Boiler, and the kill's going to get opened up by Tabson. Sorry?
How is Nex still staying alive in that? That just looked like a sea of flames that he was standing in.
This is the next
average day on Twitter, basically. Nex trying to go back for more as well. Nitro and Naf tagged. This is going to be 2 in a row for Big, which is kind of large.
It is, like, the fact right now is if they're...
No bomb plants either.
They've won this one, which is forcing another save out of Liquid. So these are pivotal gun rounds to be winning right now. for those who don't know, if the T's hold on to their guns, they don't get the loss bonus, right? So Nitro and NAF aren't going to get any residual cash. They literally just hold on to those AKs and the armor and the limited bit of utility that they have. So the flow-on effect of this is if they don't win the gun round, if they get completely obliterated, then they're not going to be able to buy. That's a problem down the track. So Big are winning some very important rounds while keeping all 5 members alive. They're building a bank. Liquid are actually hampering theirs in a way. And right now, I believe that Elige has enough to buy, whereas Taco and Twists, they're going to have, they can go Galils, but they've opted for UMP and Deagle, respectively. Yesterday, Matt.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
All my trouble seems so far away.
Dust 2,
yeah.
Tabson and Nex collectively had 50 kills on Dust 2. They just absolutely dismantled the Chinese roster.
Poor Tai Lu. They were an outside shot for a top 4 finish at this event as well. And it seems like whenever they're at these sorts of events, they somehow find their way into the finals. So unfortunate they were unable to do so. I know for a fact that they've got long travel days ahead. They're going to fly all the way home before returning to Dubai, I believe it is?
For PLG.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, that's right. But yeah, so they're obviously not a pro league. That's Vici that got the spot instead over them. Smooya, ready to go. Throws an incendiary out the other way. Couldn't quite catch the frame of a slender body behind Flames, so he misses the shot and has to back off. Likewise, Smoke will go down in front. Smooya's going to rotate. Goppy has to transition so that they're both not in the same position and easily countered off by a single bit of utility. Tabson's on rotation. Across the water, Nitro's got Smooya down. That's the op gone. Goppy somehow alive, but he's not any longer.
Nitro again with another opening kill. That stat line remaining true, but Tabson's so close. He's on the scene, able to get the first. Now he has to reposition. Elige will trade him out. Comes hard for Tizzy in the next. I think here they should go for as many kills as possible. They have enough money in the bank. They may as well they want to save. I feel in this situation, considering the economy.
Did that? Okay, the graphic. Everybody? No, I think the graphic was late to update. Yeah. There's no way that Nate did that much damage.
Close to each other. But I would be going for exits in this scenario. I'm really surprised that Godby hasn't informed them of that. When you have Godby on 6.4, you've got Tabson on 5.7, Nex has enough, Smooya has enough. The only person whose bank is in a bit of trouble is Tizian, but they could definitely drop a gun across. They should be going for exits in this environment. Letting Liquid off the hook here. I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, and you mentioned it. The saving of the 2 AKs gave them no money, and they did it 2 rounds in a row. They pretty much had to win this round in order to not give themselves a really bad time. But Big didn't do anything about it. You're right. They could have easily, as low as they were, keep them near the bomb at the very least. Let the bomb do the work for you. That thing's got some, packs a mighty punch. That's why it's a bomb.
Kablamo.
Kablamo? That's not even onomatopoeia. That's just like a cartoon word.
Yeah. Do you remember like the old Batman where it had like the sound effects would come up on the screen? Like pow.
Yeah. Like the yellow.
Hold up a second. 4 players towards top of banana. What is this approach from Big? Okay, they've had 2 guys come on over, throw grenades.
The old school smoke deep thing. I don't know. There hasn't been that much at Banana going on lately that's convinced me that you need that extra support to win the ground.
Last round, they conceded banana control very quickly, right? They allowed Liquid to posture very early and execute. Normally, you don't want to give a team banana control as quickly as what they did last round. That's the point of the matter here. And if you get it as easily as what they have, you should be executing time and time again if you look at it. It's so hard to defend. And here, posture for banana control again, but this time, fighting back is Big. Godby gets the opener. And where do they opt to go? Because they don't have mid-wall control. Oh, Smooya tagged on up with the AWP. He's left on 2 points of health, and Godby has to transition as well. He's going to eventually get traded. 3-on-4.
Not a lot of kills from the Liquid boys yet. No one's really stepped up in any big fashion. It's a 1-round game, but it's the rounds that Big are winning that have been more convincing than those that Liquid have won. What I mean by that is it's been saves from Liquid's side where they're down, say, 5-on-2 or 4-on-2, whereas it's like a 1-on-1 situation almost, aside from the last round for Liquid. So they just haven't been accumulating as much. Nex pushing through the smoke. Does he go? Because Smooya can bait him in. 2 HP. Can't hold behind him. He'll live forever. Oh, the lineup. Nex nearly gets 3. Has to back off it, but he's forced Taco to grab the bomb. He now is against 3. Plants safely behind the statue, hoping that that smoke would last longer. It does not.
Some interesting scenes that I've noted with watching Big in this tournament is obviously Tabson is a proficient AWPer, but on some maps, like Overpass in earlier stages, he was doing the primary AWPing duties on the CT side especially, and Smooya was left to work with the rifles. Here you can see the 2 AWPs coming out, but one is in the hands of GodB. I wonder if he's going to drop that. He must drop that across to Smooya. They're just having a bit of discussion. There's a technical pause. Obviously, need to fix whatever issues they're having. One of the players from Liquid has dropped from the server. That will be Nitro, as a classic NAF pose is close to the camera.
That's the way he does things, leaning on that fist. Some say it's a secondary aiming arm and a primary head resting arm.
Okay.
Don't know where I was going with that. It didn't really fit in all that well, did it?
Aren't hands amazing?
Taco also gets to wear his hat again.
Yeah, but Taco won majors not wearing a hat.
That's but he was very insecure of his hairline.
Sure.
We joked about it in Dallas.
Oh.
Yeah.
How good's the imposable thumb?
Explain.
Well, I guess that's what separates us from the rest of the animals. Maybe am I using the wrong word?
Plausible, applicable. Let me.
I better sound like an idiot now.
Nah,
More so than
it's
usual.
fine. Hang on, looking it up. A plausible thumb. Opposable thumb, not imposable. So we were both kind of right, both kind of wrong.
And
a thumb that can be placed on opposite of the fingers that are opposing, right? That makes sense.
That does make sense.
We are idiots. It's fine. Thank you, OK Google. I once asked Siri to tell me about Lanka, and that was when I knew I didn't want an iPhone because she didn't answer me.
Damn. She a cruel mistress.
She did sing Bohemian Rhapsody to me once, though.
It's quite nice. I've never been serenaded.
Someday.
Every round is very competitive in the sense of we do see so many guns scraped together, and once more that will be the case. Elige with the Krieg. And this positioning right here, right now from Tizian. The flash comes out, the timing is all wrong. He's had to drop back to pit. He's getting swarmed, but still gets the kill. The first bullet accuracy, the fact that it penetrates that armor, and 2 big kills for Tizian. That's completely stifled.
Taco still inside of the site, CZ in hand. Tabson has naps, so at least that draws it in the favor of Big, considering the weaponry, they'd want to be in that position. Elige again on the Krieg is going to try and have to hold off at pretty much everything at this point because the bomb's not yet planted. He's got to get himself out of the pit, cross to the site, and somehow do so with a teammate only on a pistol. That means going against the AWP, and that's not going to happen. Round pretty much over at that alone.
Just to note, Taco will get just likely dismount there. Hold up, he's getting a chance to save the duel against Smooth. He's going to find the kill. 30 seconds left on the clock. He didn't have to go back towards A, but all fall to Tabson, who made the play through apps. Just to note, Tizian probably would have gone down without getting any kills if he had an M4 in that environment. That AUG bit off the head of both of those players instantaneously. Now, the reason that the AUG will be invested in is that close range 1 bullet headshot potential that the M4A4 or M4A1S does not have. Now we see an eco from Liquid. No more saved guns, no more weapons held onto, no more money in the bank.
Maybe that is what the answer always was, is that you needed literally to just use the AUG to get headshots. Elige, sneaky. Sneaky little bugger. Out of the mouse hole, into the cheese. Tizian's going to kill him off, though, afterwards. Look at this. They're all there. They're all going to try the same thing.
Hold up a second. How have they gotten away with this much room? Next is going to pivot on out. The smoke is going to block off the view. Twist doesn't fall here. He did get the dink off, but if he didn't drop, it would have given time for Naf to play the round. Here, he'll be lucky if he can get this bomb down. Smooya feels like he's read the situation perfectly. Let's have the AUG, though, and he really wants to get this bomb down. He's faked the plant. Smooya knows better than to peek. We'll just jiggle to keep him honest. That's the damage on in, but Smooya survives on 2 points of health. That one could have got real spicy. Bigger winning 7-3. This half has quickly fallen away from Liquid in so many rounds that did feel like they should have been competitive. If you look back, they're clear cut. They're saved guns. They're opening kills in the favor of Big. It's rounds where the individuals of Liquid have had to fight back, and it's going to be a bit of a tactical pause coming out from Liquid to decide how they want to approach this round. I can already see that NAF has invested in Kevlar, a CZ, and utility, so they are going to take another partial buy. Well,
that's an interesting call from Liquid to try and do that because already down 7-3, this will give another round away. They need bomb plants, that's for certain. At this point, they have 3 wins on bomb plants, meaning that there's been guns saved every time for Big, and 1 round lost on defused. So that's 4 bomb plants total and only 1 in rounds they lost. So not a lot of money coming from that.
Be interesting to see whether they decide to go with this utility. If you've bought this much on a partial buy, it's normally telling that you have a strategy in mind. And it looks like they do want to head the majority of their forces over towards B. That was where they had success earlier with a very early assertive execute, and this time they're given that much room again. You can see this unique top of banana smoke coming out very quickly from Big. This is an unusual approach. This isn't how the normal meta plays out. They give up a lot of banana control early. They do have mid information, which means they can cheat that tabs and rotation. But it's strange that they're more than happy to give up so much territory early. Don't want to risk those duels, don't want to risk those fights. And they are playing 2 ops on A, but here's the execute.
Fantastic play with the AUG as the flash was not there. Nex is easily able to collect. Gabi does the same. Only 1 from Orange is 1 as Naf gets the shot back. Sees it style. But now he's dead style as tabseN has the AWP staring him down. Smoked off finally as Taco plays up close with the Deagle, but not even anticipating someone's already on the flank behind. It falls to just Nitro, and he's going to have to be a little more than just Crash Bandicoot in this round, I think. Might get a second. Low HP. All picked up. No, I don't think he's got a chance in this. Surely not. 16 HP. Molotov on the bomb, but they're already defusing. Good effort. You give him that, all things considered. Needs to keep the op. Will at least do that.
Yeah, it did get close, but that's once again, give him banana control, straight into a B execute, have a couple of trades, get the bomb down. That's about as competitive as Liquid have looked so far. We did note that Liquid have a higher pistol round win percentage. Big were able to grab the CT side of one. I think Liquid do their best work on this map on that CT side. That's where that trio come out, right? It's where Naf, Elige, and Twist, they just hold their own. They multi-kill you time and time again. And tabseN thinking,
ballsy. He was not expecting to be there that quickly.
Yeah, I understand that Molotov, you know, it allows you to have a little bit... Hold up, what? This is just madness. Aggressive play now. Big is showing a change of face.
One from Taco. Yeah, this is a change of pace, and it's a 2-minute advantage for them to work with. So all things considered, the pace change good. Unfortunately, tabseN made that a little bit easy. Still that they've got to go into an AUG at the A site, and going against that AUG is going to be problematic because he has the doorway, and that's it to hold, but he goes away from it. That allows Elige to walk in, and it's now just Nex. The one on
Peace.
It's actually just the round over.
2 big shots by Taco. They're sure the one on Nex. It may seem like it wasn't a lot, but if he dropped and Nex found another kill, I'm not saying he would have clutched the round. What I'm saying is he would have done financial damage. And to a Liquid who, you know, they're obviously in the territory of that max loss bonus. They need every penny they can get. So now they've established a bit of a bank. Didn't lose too many guns. And have applied financial pressure immediately to Big. So this is what those plants, this is what those trades on that B-bomb side have done. They've kept them honest. Now they have to take a save. Even though Smooya had 5K in the bank after investing in Kevlar and a Deagle. You've got tabseN, he only has a USP. You get a couple of P250s on Godby and Tizian. Nex has got one as well, but for what was looking really good, all it takes is 1 swing round. You know, the accumulation of some trades, some bomb plants, some rounds that maybe shouldn't have been competitive as they were. Now the tables have turned.
Like DJ style?
Wiki, wiki, wiki.
Turntables?
Didn't Maniac used to be a DJ?
No way, really?
I heard that he used to be like a DJ in a club.
I know that Jaime Alguersuari, who used to race for Red Bull in F1, Toro Rosso namely, completely quit racing, and now he's like a house DJ.
Like he DJs from home.
No, like house music. Yeah, I get it. All right. I wasn't sure if you were actually following or trolling. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. You go from an F1 driver to just never racing again. Ooh, Nitro. Gone be gone.
Whack-a-mole.
Shinbone was all that was showing, and that's fine for him. He's got shin splints now. Elige still waiting with the Krieg. First time, or one of the only times I've seen him zoom that weapon in pre-fight. Other players like to have it pre-aimed pretty much the whole time. Boost up over the half wall. Owen Butterfield's going to have to be somewhat careful because as they run back, they catch him out. Smoothie is gone. Elige with the kill. And now it's to the site they go. With Elige still springing. Boost position, and they haven't spotted it. They're waiting for the drop, in fact, with a boost, or excuse me, a first Glock. And Nex is still there. They finally put him down. I was going to say, surely he can't do something with a P250 staying up there that long. as they wait to hold off Ruined. Problem for Elige if he goes through, because Tizian is waiting behind the sandbags. Elige is well aware of that fact, and it's now 5 for Liquid.
Let's remind everybody this is actually the pick of Liquid.
I like that flower. It's quite beautiful. Maybe I'll give it to you for Valentine's Day.
That's coming around quickly.
It's my dog's birthday.
Oh.
Fittingly.
Big with the tactical pause here. They do have enough to buy. That's why they took that save. So they just want to work out their approach. It felt to me that they were dictating the flow of the game to Liquid. Then they went for that aggressive round. Taco able to have a couple of big kills in that one. And it completely swung back in the favor of Liquid. I think if Liquid were able to grab 6, it's a sure thing. We have seen earlier in the year some fantastic halves by Liquid on the T side, especially what they did to Astralis. An absolute masterclass of a half. And we're back underway. Tizian only has himself an MP9. There's the double orb set up out again. Let's see how they go for this one. Pushing that smoke in case of Molotov was Nitro. Now posted on up wide with the orb. Exchanging grenades. Not doing any damage this time round, and they want to get Smooya activated.
Try to, at least. Smooya still working his way back to the site. Wants to retreat off it. Pre-fired angle inside of the apartments. No such luck to find anyone working inside of the door, but they at least establish a bit of map control. That's the name of the game, Chad. Actually, it's Counter-Strike Global Offensive, but it's all about map control.
Completely blind. Tabson hits that shot onto Nitro. There's a heads-up duel. You don't often see those with the AWPs. Now they're left in a 4v5 situation. With the bomb's position, it felt to me like they wanted to grab that mid-control and then head back towards Banana, hopefully drawing a rotate, but now they've been forced into an A play. Oh my god, Taco, the impact! Swinging out of powers of 1 flash, 2 big kills.
And Tabson, oh, okay. I was going to say sure to go down, because even if he finds the first, they get an angle on him. Twist eventually does so in the smoke. That's a name we've not really said much yet, by the way, Twist. As he finds a kill that's influential, but Taco's done all of the work. Twist only has 5 at this point. Naf, top of the scoreboard with 4. That's due to plants, I presume, given the way the point system works. But Gabi and Smooya working both from quad. Nades go that direction, so too the Flames back at their feet. Naf will stay elevated, so too will Twist. Fires in, blinded up, slight damage, but is it enough for Naf to work with? Molotov's gone, so is Naf.
Okay, so the Molotov spread so late that it became a nuisance for Naf when they didn't clear his position. They heard the ticks of it, he stepped on out, and Smooya hitting a banger. He had the defuse, and geez, after what I thought was an absolute heroic play from Taco, it all crumbles in the finer stages. So that was around back and forth for sure. The money situation isn't a problem for Liquid. He has more than enough. They have residual, and it is the last round of the half. Big are able to get the double orbs up again. So, even pegging here for the last round of the half. 9-5 in the favor of Big Clan. They've shown some very different changes. This was like a fast B play from 3 players. They're just going to push it up, hyper aggressive. Look at this, establish the top Banana control with 1:40 left on the clock. That is very fast.
Big baby Elige going to drop down, fade away, and it's going to be big. They're looking to get double digits before the end of the first half even. Not ideal if you're Team Liquid at this point in time. We talked about it, the amount of heartbreak that they've had. Another tournament in which they come in as the favorites, and Big are putting them against the ropes. The mentality within Liquid is going to be shook, to say the least.
Yeah, trophy win for Liquid here means more than merely taking home the check.
Yeah.
Propel them to...
Yeah, because remember, the only thing they've won ever, I think, as a team was one of the summits.
Yeah.
And are those even real?
They're a bridesmaid.
Smooya back inside of Emo, tries to wait with the off. Hasn't gone aggressive yet, no need to. Gabi does it for him. Pulls them directly in. Nitro, he's got to enter. He's got next down, but Gabi's going to rotate. And that smoke, it's about to dissolve. surely any second. He knows Twist is planting default. Quick little check to make sure he's got the time, but he concedes the plant. And in doing so, leaves Nitro on 1 HP to find 3 kills. Let's see how clever he really, really is. Nade drawn, that should be a kill. Gets away with 1. Now they know where he is. It becomes far more difficult at this point in time. He's even fading off of it to make sure that there's no utility going to go his direction. Flash over. If that had worked, he might have had a second kill. They're going to swap it to get the kid on top. Gobby ready for it. Shoulder peek, trying to get that perfect headshot. That's all he could do.
1 HP. If he was able to clutch that, that would have been absolutely insane. But another reason that you get the AWP player to get the defuse coming in, obviously Tabson has an AK-47 in his hands, but he had an AWP earlier, is because that player can only hit 1 shot, and then he obviously has to get another bullet in the chamber, whereas Gobby, with the rifle, stands and takes the duel, and obviously, as you mentioned, the kit factor, definitely one that comes on in. So, realistically, in the schemes of Inferno, a 10-5 is probably par for the course. The reason that I'm feeling that Liquid didn't do enough is because I have them as a favorite in this matchup. I would be expecting them in a half like this on their map choice to be looking for 6 or 7 rounds. You know, to be comfortable with that. But the CT side, that's where the likes of Twists, Naf, Elige, they all come alive. Because I mentioned those 3 are the top 3 performing players for this squad. The top 3 performing players for this squad on Inferno. And normally Nitro is the worst player, statistically speaking, followed by Tarka. And those 2 guys, I believe, had the most amount of impact. Something to note as well that I thought was pretty cool. For Liquid, on those 52 games that they played offline in the last 3 months, every single player on the team has a positive rating. So there's not too many teams in the world that you can say that for.
Smooey, ooh, yeah. That's the new chant. Ooh, yeah.
That's with the voice crack.
Yeah, it wasn't really. It was a change in infliction based on dramatic occurrences at alt middle, which didn't even really involve him. As it was Tizian and Twist in the exchange. And Twist, he went down. Tizian didn't even get touched.
So with the utility left, the 2 smoke grenades and a Molotov, and the map control being taken and postured for, Big really have the world, or at least Inferno, as their oyster. Because Liquid either need to make an aggressive play as a unit, or sit back and receive and hope they hit the shots.
So Smooya back down toward Banana. Nades thrown that direction, 53 seconds. So losing Twist early is a significant ordeal given their success in the pistol rounds. Smooth trying to make a move toward Nitro. They do pay me, believe it or not. Nitro's not willing to peek out and give himself away as of yet. Smoke to delay, 29 seconds. That is significant because now we get into crunch time with a crossfire on the pistols. But yeah, they could go back off this and they've caused a rotation.
Yeah, they gambled 4 players and Gobby's just going to sell the fake, which is going to keep Nitro and Elige there for long enough for them to get into this A bomb site. That puts so much pressure on Tarka.
Yeah, they know it now. They were boosting still at Flower Pot, and then they realized, wait a minute, guys, there's 10 seconds. They're not here. They're on A. It's going to be Taco with only 1. Taps in with the kill immediately in return. Don't rule out a retake unless Gob gets a kill here. His positioning was smart, but apt to the call was Nitro. Oh, in-game leader versus the other. Smooya through the smoke. Elige drops. That's massive because now Big have a chance to hold off in a 3-on-2.
Boy, oh boy, you didn't see that one coming by any means. Tabson's going to finish off Naf, and by that, that's the round done. Dusted Nitro only has a flash, so he can't even save armor to go for an upgrade in the next if they wanted to force. That's both pistols for Big. And I've just done a little bit more reconnaissance on my my stats, Matthew. In the 13 games that Liquid have played offline in the last 3 months on Inferno, 65% of their rounds have come from the T side. Managed 5 rounds on the T side in this match, so could be a troublesome sign. Could be worrisome if you are a bit of a Liquid fan. This is their map choice. They're up against it. Twist is having an uncharacteristically poor match. He needs to get back in the swing of things. He needs to come alive here. Complacency was one of those, I want to say, lost conditions for Liquid, which is not something we normally talk about.
Well, the fact that they've now lost both pistols and they're down 11-5, this is going to be a tremendous battle for them to try and overcome because economy is a massive factor CT side as well.
And they force sport.
Yeah.
They're going all in. They've shoved all in.
Don't really like that, but we'll see how it works. They can keep it honest. 1 for 1. Elige Taco actually adding to it. Next is going to try and make up for it still with the MAC-10s. Knows he has the running gun potential, but so do the pistols, and Naf keeps moving.
Oh,
Gets his jiggy with it, but big missed smoke. Owen Butterfield has the ball. He can run it in toward the site. It's Nitro to back away. Keep in mind that CZ still in play at Ruins, but he doesn't want to commit, doesn't want to rotate in because his teammates need to be closer to give themselves a statistic chance against 2 AK-47s. Taco's going to have a hard time. Banana, long corridor, single shot AK, dead. It's going to be all Smooya inside of the site directly. It's going to flash off. Smoke as well towards CT. Tabson sprays in, but Smooya's been baited. Plays the pillar perfectly. Finds one easy on the second. And money on the third.
That's a big round to win right there. There was no kit. Time was of the essence. You could see how they had to rush into that one. And as soon as Tabson dispatches of Taco, they no longer have to worry about that choke point. That leaves you Coffins. Obviously, CT base for them to push through, and Smooya too easy. 1, 2, 3. Look at me. And that all in shove right now from Liquid has left them. Obviously, we're going to see the 2400 loss bonus come out in the third. They will still be able to have a gun round in the following. Taco has enough residual right now if they do want to drop an AWP across, but their arch player is Nitro. He is one of the weaknesses on their CT side. It's a weird spot to play, especially for someone who's primarily been a rifler. But they're able to open up here with 4 players over towards the quad side, putting enough bullets into Smooya to take him down. He will have grabbed the information to give to his team, but they're not going to act on it straight away. Waiting as a core, seeing if there is any re-aggression from the Liquid side. This is fine. They haven't panicked. They haven't rushed into anything. They still have the weaponry utility and armor advantage. And the 2 USPs on Taco and Nitro. That's a bleak existence to find yourself in. Still want to go towards A, and neither team is giving an inch, right? The over-rotation hasn't come in from Liquid. Big didn't panic and run back to B. They didn't force themselves into an A attack. They're still being very clinical, using their utility wisely, checking all the corners, making sure that they are in positions to trade. Information over towards Banana. There's nothing there. Neither team knows what's going on that side of the map. But it has to be A at this point now.
Nice shot. Precision with patience. Equals dominance, perhaps, as they try and go towards the library. This isn't done yet. 1 man remaining. It's all on next. 20 seconds trying to find Naf as he goes back and forth around the pillar without a tip. But he will get taken down in the end. Whether or not he got paid, we'll find out as Taco swings to the site. Pistol in hand. Next seems to have an inkling that he's coming from that direction, and correctly so, as it's pistol versus pistol on this occasion. No time for the reload. That gives Liquid the round.
All right,
yeah,
well,
1 up, bro.
I want to talk through the thought process of Next right there. He's opted to get that bomb down straight away. Obviously, time was of the essence because they left that round so late. He didn't have a choice, which meant Taco's rotation was just in the nick of time that he couldn't get that reload in, allowing the starting pistol duel, not a Pikachu versus Charmander, but a USP versus Glock going toe-to-toe. And it was just a matter of keeping your cool in that situation. Taco didn't panic. He didn't spam. He didn't feel the need to run in and try and close the distance. He just took it as any day of the week. And that's one thing that Taco brings to this lineup, the experience under pressure. And that could be a massive round for Liquid as they want to mount a comeback here. Now they've got that full buy, more than enough money in the bank to get all that utility for this round. But a big win this map, that's the game. I feel that might be Liquid. Chances slipping away on Inferno.
Let's see how they choose to respond to that. Smooya still sneaking slowly. Scoped in already to not make noise. Wants to clear at the top side of the bananas. I say that like there's plural. There's only one. It's not the Bahamas. It's the banana. Justin. Oh, okay. That's... I'm stunned by that. I thought he was done for. He got shot first, tagged up, was flicked all over the place based on the punch, and then still hits the shot in response. Remarkable. Now they're inside of the sights. Smooya has another angle, and it's Tizian instead that gets the kill. Elige, Nitro each finding responses. HP, but Smooya up above, still spinning in circles and finding kills as he gets Taco. Elige will roast next, but bomb was planted beforehand. Smooya's gone, round is as well. 6-7, or excuse me, 12-7. 6 turns into 7. It all works.
Yeah, I want to give a lot of, obviously that shot by Smooya was fantastic. Really opened up the avenue for that B bomb side. But let's just note right there, Nitro under so much pressure, getting spammed through the box. He didn't overpeak. He waited. He waited for that rotation to come in. A teammate's flash lands, steps out, grabs a second kill. That's huge. That's massive. That was so much pressure applied to him on that B bomb side. A lot of players would just peek on out there thinking that they're going to get chased down, thinking they have to take a fight. Knowing the rotation was there, knowing the teammates were close, he's made the right play. It did get close there. Smooth was pivoting well with the AWP. It could get very dangerous if he hit one of those CT kills, but now they're forced onto just a pistol upgrade and very limited utility. So I think it'll be a quicker round as they barrel up middle.
Taco still waiting for the arch side. Can't find. He fired between two targets. The nade will suffice. Smooya's gone. So is Gabi. Who's next?
This is unusual seeing Taco do the AWPing towards the A-bomb side. That's normally the job of Nitro, and Elige is over towards A as well. So maybe that was just a spawn-based situation. You can see Nitro has an AWP as well. So obviously this is a new setup that they're looking for, because normally it would be Naf doing the AWPing over towards the B-bomb side.
Naf and Twist, normally the top of the scoreboard for Team Liquid. Instead, it's Nitro, Taco, and Elige all with 15. Those two don't even have 15 between the two of them.
Yeah, this is an unusually... Oh no, they've blocked each other. You go first. No, you go first. We've all had those in the street.
No, after you, no, after me. No, I insist, please, after me.
Age before beauty?
It's no, it's a line from the Tragically Hip. Rest in peace, Gord Downey.
Okay, so with this double op setup, they are playing a heavy presence on the quad and app side of things towards A, which means the rotation towards B will be relatively slow. Twist is just having a rough time of it. Smooya with the wall bang. It felt like every bullet hit. And another wall bang on the other side of the map. Nitro onto Tabson. So 4v4 with a minute and 10 left on the clock.
Elige backs off. Couple of shots in his direction. He manages to get the AK reloaded and back inside the site. As Taco goes aggressive with the op to the mid wall, he may get rewarded for doing so because there's a number there. He's got Naf to try and flash him in, but so soon as they arrive and want to do that, a little smoke bang comes down. A smoke and a pancake. I think that's the biggest change for me is the prominence of smokes in Go versus 1.6. The Molotov's huge as well, and it took a while for the Molotov to actually come into favor. I was surprised by that. In like 2012, I thought it was going to be way more prominent. But I think smokes are just it's like such a massive deterrent compared to the 1.6 style. Nitro, aggressive.
What a risk that was. That was almost unnecessary, but it will drop the bomb, and that information means that everybody can rotate over. Bigger, very cautious.
That was like sparring off on a sword. They still managed to get it back, though. Pushing the smoke. They couldn't find it. Nitro again. He knows exactly what they're doing. Bomb is dropped, and it might be a third time they plant just off the mark. That's good enough, but not for Taco. The second op still finds it, but the bomb gets planted, so he's got to go aggressive. A pistol only to work with in Smooya. I say only. He's going to go back to the op. Smooya has the AK, but Taco doesn't know exactly which angle to fire at, and Smooya gets away. Taco just missed.
That's a big round there to lose. The fact of the matter was it felt like Nitro did enough. The bomb dropped first time. The flash comes in. They thought they'll catch them while they're trying to grab that bomb, kill them in transition, but it wasn't to be. That's exactly what Big wanted. They wanted them to push, and they got gifted 2 huge scalps. Naf and Elige fall in transition. And then all the pressure on Taco left in a 1v1. Well, a 1v2, but Smooya with a huge round. This is where it gets pivotal. You can see right now they've taken a tactical pause. Now, the reason they've taken this pause is because they may have won that round. But God B, 3,400. Tizian, 3,600. Tabson, 3,200. Next, 3,700. Smooth can drop a gun over, but they're not going to have the full utility with the AKs.
Well, that's a problem. That will be welcomed by Liquid. This is where they get a chance to reset, and in doing so could really bring this back at 12-9, and then potentially double digits either side. Still, you're on a fine line on the CT side. If you lose this round, it's pretty much GG. You go to 14, no money, 15, and then you're fighting back. 7 rounds just to get to overtime. And chomping or scraping at the bottom of the barrel, whatever you want to say. Chomping at the bit. They all work.
They do. But you know who's not working right now? It's Twist.
Henry.
Well, he is, but
not here.
Not here. But Twists, look, I'm not calling him out. He is consistent, but that's what we've come to expect. And right now, he's really struggling to get into the groove of this game. They're being bailed out by the support players, Nitro and Taco, as Elige is going to take some damage. Is that a wallbang? Did Smooya line up a wallbang? He's lining up another one.
Can we see him? No, we see Nex taking down Taco. Smooya's trying to get back out from Boiler. Twist inside of the pit. Quiet game thus far. Time to shine. Smoke's actually favorable for him in some ways. That didn't really work. They walk by that cart. He can take their ankles clean off. I think it's bloomed enough to make sure that Elige can't see the doorway, though, so that's why he's playing the off angle at Graveyard.
Could also have been a one-way for Tizian to take a cheeky little bit of information.
You think one way toward the hole in the wall?
Potentially
if
Castle, yeah.
Goes wide? Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But this is, they've shown a couple of very well thought out things in this round alone. Now there's lots of pressure on Twist and Elige Crossfire.
Double molly smoke down. Twist finds one immediately. They know that he's under there. They'll take care of him.
Oh!
But, oh, nearly. Elige getting a chance for all 3. It's hard to transfer that AUG, but it's still going to be Liquid.
That's not an easy gun to control the spam with. Obviously, it's not as difficult as the AK-47, but...
It's just the rate of fire, right? You don't get as many... Like, if we want to steal the term DPS, in those situations, it's not as good.
I like it. The thing is, though, you do hit that shot to the head, and you take him down, depending on the range, obviously. I don't want to be saying that's a across-the-board kind of scenario, but that round right there is a massive one for Liquid. Now they have a chance to really mount this comeback. You get a what should be a gimme here. Looks like a relative full eco other than Tabson, who's upgraded to a P250 as alongside Smooya. So let's say they get this one in the bank. Now we're talking at Liquid. They're up to 10 rounds in the pocket. A suboptimal buy most likely coming out from Big in the following. You know, they can't have an orb, but they can have everything else they need. It'll be interesting to see GodB's approach. Is he going to play for the round to cripple the economy, or is he going to play for the long game knowing they only need 3 more rounds? They have a lot of wiggle room here. The problem is if you let a Liquid establish that economy, that's when they're going to really stay on top of you. So no flash to pounce, no creativity in that way. They just have to hope that someone finds an opening frag. And on the favor of the Big side, definitely not that on the favor of Liquid, as now they can quickly dispatch of this attack. There we go.
This was the predicted outcome based on the money and if Liquid were able to win that. So they get a chance, 3 rounds between them. Zeus is on his feet. Zeus the Moose. Kakafuya's not. He's on his chair, on his hind end.
Chilling out, Max, and relaxing.
Acting all cool.
Legia is here as well, by the way, for people at home who are curious. So they do have both members of the coaching staff on site. This is it. This is where I was curious if they were going to go for the... Because they could have bought AKs and light armor and gone for a buy.
They still have 2 rounds in hand. Yeah, you're right, though.
They've opted just to go for the pistol upgrade. And at the moment, with how shaky Liquid have looked in some certain rounds, this could still get interesting. You know, we still have Elige on a FAMAS. It's not the best weapon, to be completely frank. So 3 smokes, 4 smokes, sorry, and a handful of flashes. I thought they would have just gone for a set piece early. You know, they've already got boiler control, they've already got holes control. That means you can do a set execute all you want, but they've dropped back to T stairs. That tells me they're going to throw a utility towards top of Banana, which exactly is that. Now, Nitro has to get information in a different way. The AWP was perfectly trained down. He could have grabbed all that information they needed. That one smoke pushes him all the way back. And now if they want to execute B, they more than can. You can have 2 approaches here with these 3 smokes. You do the wall smokes across the front of Banana and a deep smoke CT spawn. Okay, so with that from Tizian thrown towards Apps, it's a fake. They want to just do a standard B execute. Tizian has to sell this here alone. He needs 1 kill to make this work.
Fantastic shot from the Liege, though, to Tizian and Taco on to Gobby. Forget your theories, Chad. You're not the boss of Team Liquid. Nitro. And just hold off to find Smooya. Will bait Naf in, whether by design or not. Who cares? The other was going to get the kill. And it's 13-11. Ooh, I'll take some calamari. €9? What friggin' country are we in? It's got to be Italy.
Yeah. Well,
For calamari. I guess if it's a good enough restaurant.
I was going to say, I'm not a huge fan. Most of the time it's too rubbery.
If it's done right, it's delicious. €9 fair. Malta's very affordable in that sense for food. Maybe that's why I was scoffing at it, because Malta's much more, probably better at calamari and cheaper.
Cost effective. All right, they're still going with Nitro over towards B as the primary AWP players. So this is something that Zeus and the team must have identified as the way they want to approach this matchup. Historically speaking, he has been the Arch player, while Naf and Elige have been the B side squad. Twist and Taco playing Quad and Pit. We are seeing a bit of a three-man setup on the Quad side. Rushes will come out. The force forward was Elige. He gets traded. Taco able to get one of their own back, but we do always say that the 4v4 situations favor the T sides as it strings out this CT defense, ready to reinitiate, flash for one another and get information, but it's very early in the round. We still have a minute left. Big have other ideas. Banana appears to be the port of call as they hold that shift key and walk their way up into the hands of Nitro. Almost a double. So much damage done. Smooya and Gobby cop the bullet. Neither falls, but they're going on in. The close range AWP shot won't land. Absent bailing them out. But will they know that so much damage has been done?
Now I'm just going to swing it back around to Ruins, but Smooya is waiting. Butterfield's got butterfingers. Couldn't hold the trigger correctly on that one as Naf is going to put him down. It's now going to just be a 3-on-2 for Taco and Naf to pull back, but Gobby low. Need to make haste. Gobby playing Banana, not peeking as a result of his HP. And fair enough. Goes when
Big
time
round.
is required. It's going to be 14 for Big.
Yeah, big round there. I don't know if Nitro was aware of how much damage he did there. The fact that he took that very postured, very aggressive pick from First Oranges is questionable. Maybe not the right play. I did praise him before for being very wise under pressure. This time round, pulls the scissors to the rock of Big, and they barrel onto that site. Tabson bailing them out. You can see he's sitting there on 23 kills. And with Smooya's impact plays as well, the more consistent star duo of this big roster, getting it done. Next as well, sitting on 16 kills. So this is the trio that we always talk about. You know, we always discuss if Next can come online, then Big becomes just a different beast, a different animal. The prep's there, the strats are there, the ideas, thinking outside the box, the unusual approach. Those things are always a consistent factor. Tabson popping heads. We know that's going to happen. Get Next online, and now we have a scary German team.
Yeah, very scary. It's 2 rounds to go, and they'll steal away Inferno.
Overpass Next.
Yep. Liquid's in a bit of trouble here. Treading water off St. Peter's Pool.
At least it's beautiful water.
It's true. It's nice and blue. Just like Henry's eyes. I don't even know what they are. I've casted with them for that long. They're brown, right?
I'm not too sure, but I do know this is a much safer approach from Liquid. They're not posturing or flashing for aggression, and that has allowed Smooya to sneak on with the layup quad side. That Molotov will come in. They'll hear him jump on back, so they do know that they do have a lot of map control map. But it's going to be an A execute with 30 seconds left, and they do find the opening.
Shot beautifully from Elige, but better from Gobby. Up close in the AWP. He's got one down. Naf's going to have to rotate in. That's a double. Bomb down as Nitro follows to trade onto Gobby. It's all onto Tizian, and with 12 seconds, bomb by Library. This is over. Twist doesn't need to peek this. Just stay put. That's what he's trying to do. Let the time expire. Kill him after if possible. He may get a chance swinging around the box, but he finally has enough. And just does what's required.
Jeez, Naf with 2 clutch kills there. The importance of those. Twist was stuck on the bomb site. Felt like the kid was on an island. Felt like he didn't have any help at all. Lucky Naf got there at the nick of time, able to spray down to the lifeline. really getting the team another opportunity to gear on up, because that's forced Big to take an eco. The conservative play, I respect it. This is by the book Counter-Strike here from God B. The problem is you're not giving yourself the belief in a miracle round. You know, I know that sounds ridiculous, but back in the day, you know, I was a proponent of taking the saves after losing pistol. You know, maybe just a pistol upgrade here, not going into full investment. But sometimes you have to take that force buy. Sometimes you have to take that gamble. Counter-Strike's a game of many decisions, lots of which come back to haunt you. Or at least me.
Yeah, it's, I have many haunting decisions in my past too, Chad. We're going to get through this. Next, Naf, rather. Takes out Tabson and Gobby, controlled to bring it back within 1 round. So Liquid doing perhaps just enough to keep this game in contention and keep it alive. They've now got the economic advantage once more because no bomb plants mean very little value. They can force. I think they should force on this. I think they're going to have. They're going to go pistols.
Doing the pistol upgrade again.
Okay.
Wow.
That does surprise me genuinely.
Realistically, in this scenario, just considering the way that this one pans on out, Tizian, I think, has a Glock as well. Like, that's curious. They have utility, so they have a set piece in mind, but this is giving Liquid 14. This is giving them the tie, bringing it all the way back. I'm very curious of this decision.
Nitro. You know what I haven't seen in a long time? Is that, I think it was CLG Red or Dignitas did it? That boost right here, 3-man boost.
I'm not sure if it's possible anymore,
Is it,
but
did
you're
they
right,
fix
it might be. I don't know. I haven't
seen anyone ever attempt it, so I was thinking maybe it wasn't possible. I'm sure someone in chat knows it. It was like an update. I probably just didn't read that detail because it wasn't relevant. But I was going to say, with the amount of time people spend in Banana lately, look at the push through. Oh, Nitro, Naf's got another. This is a slaughter. It is against pistols, but that was quite good from Liquid. I was going to say, with the amount of time people spend in Banana now, so if it's possible, someone should just pull it out again once because they'll nail someone with it. Let us know. It's just, I feel like as a commentator, yeah, we should know that, but it's like one of those such like situational things that I just didn't really pay attention to.
Well, maybe we should start asking for prac rooms too, so we can
yeah, exactly. So I can actually play the game instead of once every 14 months in a show match. Yeah. I still knife twist, so that's whatever.
Right. That in itself is a victory. All right, here we go. Crunch time. We've had a whole game of Counter-Strike, a back and forth affair, but realistically it all comes down to this. If Big lose this, oh my God, Taco kicks things off in a fantastic fashion. It's going to be 2,900 as the loss bonus for Big if they lose this, which isn't going to be enough for a full buy. Liquid grab this. That's surely the victory. And Taco's kick things off in a fantastic fashion. This is a different CT side approach from Liquid, and I'm liking it.
Down, Elige catches out Gobby before he can retreat.
I think we just fired our new analyst.
Yeah, see Mitch. The last Mitch we sent to Overwatch, so we'll just fire him. We won't treat him to that.
No.
You know, we won't banish him to some sort of faraway prison camp.
Competitive Pac-Man, I think, is what he's.
Yeah, exactly. Good shot from Nex. He'll get Elige back. This gives him a chance, at least in a 2-on-4. Tizian's position inside of the boilers. He wants to work back out. Could give him, with the smoke going down toward Library, a chance to wrap onto Pit, but that means going against Taco's AWP. All he has to do is time it to perfection to swing to the gap. I thought he was going to fire immediately. Doesn't matter. He's got Tizian. Patience pays off. He'll go down inevitably. Twist. I thought he was going to whiff on that one, but it's Liquid that's on map point now.
The Magician appearing through the smoke. Name a more iconic duo. I wonder if he's more like a magician from the Prestige or more like a dark magician from Yu-Gi-Oh.
What was the other? Yeah, I don't have an answer for that, Chad. I'm sorry.
I think he's probably more like the one from Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm not culturally adept to the Yu-Gi-Oh references.
He looks pretty anime. Well, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh is anime.
He does look pretty anime. I'll give him that.
I think I've just...
You could argue he looks hentai even.
Sure. All right, now, with Big, with their back against the wall, we saw the conservative approach. We saw them have to take, you know, they took excessive save rounds, in my opinion. They did pistol upgrades with low utility instead of going for AKs and trying to find jewels. Right now, they have the back against the wall. They have to wall in. They have 2 MAC-10s. They have a Deagle, a Tech-9, a UMP. They have utility, but here is where they're going to take more of a risk. Here is where they're going to allow their individuals to go for a bit more of a play, because the more tactical approach hasn't really given them any rewards in that regard. They were in such a good position for a long stretch of this game. It felt like they had a commanding lead, but Liquid have merely had to just grind their way back in, stick to their guns, do the basics, and do the basics well.
This is going to be hard for Big as well, because now they swap over short. Overpass is next. It's their map. I guess if you're Godby, you're experienced enough that you're going to say, hey, we almost won their map. That's good enough for motivation going into theirs. But this was one that they should have tied up. A couple loose ends left here.
And how many rounds is Twist, I mean, how many games is Twist going to be quiet in a row?
Yeah, it's kind of, you're kind of waiting for that, aren't you? He's going to go off at some point.
This has all been Taco and Nitro in my book. Obviously, Naf with some key rounds late. Realistically, a lot of impact from the two lowest rated players from Liquid on this map in the last 3 months on LAN. And now, once again, the double AWP setup, poking and prodding, making his life a living hell.
Godby backs away with the Tech 9. Toward the apartments instead. The only gun, the UMP, is in that position as well. Liege waiting with the AUG. No one else has elected to pick up any of the scoped weaponry on Liquid, so we thought we were going to see a trend from Big. It seems they're the only team so far. Nade Quad's going to be preempted, but no one there on the other side of it. 24 seconds, Chad. There's 24 seconds in a day.
Liege just feeling it. He just took his hand off the mouse, but here comes the attack.
That was a decent peek. Times it to perfection. Twist gets the other inside of the site. Liege does help him out. Taco's arrived. He's looking good on the secondary op, by the way, Taco. 6 seconds, it's going to end on time. You're right, there's nothing they can do. They'll get the kills either way. 16-14, good comeback from Liquid. Puts them one map up in this semifinal against Big.
That was looking dire for a very long time there, but I think the nature of staying strategical, staying to the books may have been the undoing. We did see Smooth with moments. Tabson went big as well. They're going to feel disappointed that they didn't grab this one. There was many moments in this game that Big could have sealed the deal. They could have grabbed the victory, but all they had to do was stick to their guns. You know, Liquid just played the fundamentals and played them well. There wasn't really need for too many crazy heroics. I think Naf with the clutch play from Library in the late stages, that was probably one of the bigger moments from an individual perspective. Otherwise, it was a good team effort. And like I said, Taco and Nitro, them in the first half, they're the reason they're able to at least grab 5.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. Again, you mentioned it, though. Twist is quiet for how many games in a row? That doesn't happen very often, so he's expectedly going to show up in this series at some point in time. Overpass is next, and let's see what Godby responds with. I did say the mentality of having a heartbreaking loss like that sometimes can be how should I say, dealt with in a better fashion by experiencing the leader, knowing it wasn't their map. He can turn that into sort of motivation and momentum for them. But this could totally break them as well. I could see Liquid just running on this.
Yeah, well, we'll give it over to the analysts so they can break this one down a little bit more.
All the rounds and as close as it could get, but Liquid, their experience and skill shines through as, I think really fairly to say, guys, is Big kind of threw that away towards the end.
Talk about a missed opportunity, right? That has to hurt for Big, because up until, I don't know, around 25, 26, it felt like they had it in the bag. They had Liquid's number all over the place on the second half. Yep. It feels like their plan was working. They had a basic idea, right? They wanted to take middle, trade frags, or maybe get an open frag, and then redirect the game. And it seemed to work pretty well. Liquid could never have the banana control. They were forced to play in the dark. What they usually did was leaving one player on B, 3 on the A side, and Big abused it for the most part of the second half. And you think that's it. And suddenly, round after round, and we were talking about it in the green room, whenever it gets very close, that's usually where the experienced team gets the best, because the individuals, they're going to show up when it matters most.
Let's talk about that first half to start off with, though. 10-5 CT half. Now, okay, we expect like a 9-6, 10 half is so regular, right, when we get to see the CT sides do it. But this was Big just in a dominating fashion. Tabson able to deliver. Next in there as well. Smooya hitting off the shots, and he was getting very stylistic with it. He said about being aggressive, but once they flipped over sides, Liquid got to the T side, their CT side, they just started to play their normal game of Counter-Strike, right? There was nothing special coming out from Liquid. It was just a very dominant hold and performance from them.
Like Big had a lot of very important rounds throughout the majority of that first half, where some of the players really stepped it up. You know, Nex and Smooya was mentioned there by Chad, had their moment. They really shone through. But towards the end, in the last couple of rounds, they started to fade away a little bit, and that's when Liquid stepped up at just the right time to close it out. I feel like Big kind of went back into their usual pattern there, with tabseN being the strong fragger, and then everybody else doing their job, but just not quite well enough to make up for the slack towards the bottom of the leaderboard. And sure, Liquid had Twist stepping down a little bit. He was a little bit cool throughout that series, but the rest of the team showed up, and they managed to clock out a very dominant performance in those last couple of rounds. I mean, it was looking very likely that Big were taking that map for a while. I was out in the crowd for most of the game, and it was certainly, there was a lot of Smooyas going around.
And rightly so, right? That meme continues. The Smooya shouts
round in
and
particular
chants come in.
That round was incredible with the 4K.
These rounds coming up were the ones where it started to fall apart for Big, right? They hit that 13th round, Liquid started to make more and more comeback into it, and then we got to the 14th finally for him, but even then it just took that one reset to really heavily hit him.
Yeah, but this is what was really impressing about Big in the beginning of that game, or at least up until the, not the last 5 rounds,
yes,
is that these clutches that you would normally give to Liquid, the 3v3, the bomb plant situations, Big were winning them. And for me, that's one of the most hardest win condition to have when you face an opponent like Liquid, is to win these close rounds. And you see here, Chad talked about that play from Naf in the library. That, I think that's what, cut the grass right under Big's feet. I mean, after that, it was Liquid all over the place. Suddenly the clutches were going for them. People were going off. Naf woke up last rounds, and that was really when they needed him to. But as I said, it was just a team effort. And it has to hurt for Big, because yes, that's Liquid map, arguably, so you could, relax and go to the second map thinking we've done great. Yeah. But in the back of your head, you're gonna hear, we could be 1-0 now. We could be 1-0 going on our map. So it's gonna be a big mental challenge to reset and still be 100% for the second map.
And that's what I think it comes down to, right? It's not just the whole reset now between the maps, it's how close they came. And okay, Gob, the rest of Big, they can sit there and they can be like, okay, cool, look, we did better than expected. We walked away with it. But also, that's their game plan obviously came into it, right? Because they were well prepared, as showed on Inferno. But even when you were well prepared, you couldn't close it out. That in the back of your minds. And this is where it starts to affect the players like Nex and Smooya that we spoke about.
And I mean, okay, we see the Big side now. Just flip over to Liquid. Can you imagine how they feel now, right? They've won Inferno, they go on the overpass, they have nothing to lose. They're 1-0, and they had that crazy, not that crazy, but that's still an impressive comeback. They saved a lot of rounds, and now they're going to overpass, 1-0 in the back, they're safe. I expect them to really pop off individually, because, tactic-wise, yes, we would give that map to Big any day of the week, but, Liquid, because they've survived Inferno in that fashion, I expect them to start 0 to 100 real quick on the second map.
What do you think some of the worrying signs really, though, were around Liquid and just kind of how the start they got off to there?
Well, I think the thing, you got to look at that map. Like you said, Liquid are probably going to go into the next one looking at this as a positive thing. But realistically, we gave massive favor to them starting this out in Inferno. I mean, Big could have that mentality coming into the next map. It is difficult, though, to look at things and say, we've got this, despite such a negative performance overall, like a negative mindset.
Well, the thing about Overpass, right, if you look at just the stats, as we can see here on the screen, there isn't really much numbers that tell us Liquid's going to win it, right? Overpass is a map that Big plays a lot, and they have, 70% win rate. That's pretty good. 16% of it on Liquid side. But let's take a little bit of distance from it, right? Just consider the players and how they feel now. My fear is that Liquid are just going to take the tactical aspect of Overpass, open the trash, put it in, and go crazy, And this is legit what I'm scared about for Big. I'm scared that Big will not be given the respect and the space to create a tactical warfare as they would like to, and Liquid's just going to be in their face.
And actually, that's such a good point as well, because if we just see Liquid go all guns blazing out in their face, you'll catch Big in the middle of executes. That slow style we saw in Inferno will not work, so that'll be then down to Big to try and adjust. Obviously, again, it's speculation, but we know what Liquid can be like when they get confidence, when they start to get flowing here.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the most impressive part of that second half as well. Before that Liquid comeback was the space that was given to Big. They had all the opportunity and the freedom to do whatever they wanted. Think about Overpass. Overpass is a map that gives a lot of possibility of aggression. Yeah. Long, banana, toilet, B-side even if you want to. So if Liquid go really aggressive at it, I don't know if Big will survive that threat.
It'll be a bit of a different change of pace as well, and maybe not what they thought they'd be preparing for, considering this is Big's pick and how you saw the results there. But stats, sometimes the stats don't speak true to how we're going to look at it. But you know what time it is, guys, before we go to a break. Take a look at our giveaway here. It's for one of the Supernova shirts. You can win it. It's going to be signed by all the teams and ourselves here on the Talent Team. Do !! giveaway in chat. Make sure you drop a follow on our Twitch channel because it's going to be grand final day tomorrow. And we could be looking now to find out very shortly who is going to go and win this second semi-final. Liquid are up 1-0, but we're moving to Overpass. Big's pick. They look strong, but can they get it done? You'll be finding out real soon.
Sie haben eine Big Box bestellt?
Fatih, wer war das?
Das war irgend so ein hässlicher Typ, Mann. Riesengroß war der auch.
Hässlicher Typ? Ich mag keine hässlichen Typen.
Ich auch nicht, ey.
Was ist denn das?
Ich glaube, das ist so eine Big Box bei runtime.gg. Vielleicht sollten wir das Unboxing-Video machen. Lieber nicht, ne?
Banks have failed to move with the times, but we don't need them. Back in 11th century Italy, merchants from all over would exchange their different currencies for trade outdoors on benches, which is where we get the word bank from, banca. They started as a way of making our lives easier. Unfortunately, this all changed. As the bank profits grew bigger, customer experience was lost in a maze of paperwork and bureaucracy. They invented new and complicated ways of growing their margins, built on hidden fees and taking liberties with their customers' money. But there's a solution. Revolut Metal, a stainless steel card that does more than just look good. An authority to tear down borders, make our finances as mobile as we are. Free to spend in 130 currencies worldwide at the real interbank exchange rate. Think sending unlimited amounts of money abroad with no fees.
With free worldwide travel insurance. Think seamlessly buying and selling cryptocurrency in seconds and earning cash back instantly in the fiat or cryptocurrency of your choice. Access to 24/7 concierge from your phone to book what you want when you need it.
For a truly borderless lifestyle. And all this in your pocket.
Demand more from your bank. Revolut Metal. Radically better.
Place your bets at GG.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at GG.bet.
Stats man.
Weird. It's not looking good.
Thank you. Fill me in.
Well, Liquid have played this map 5 times on LAN.
Yes.
In the last 3 months.
Oh. And?
The stat which we had on the analyst segment was including online results where they had like a 16% win rate. On LAN, it's a 0% win rate.
Does that mean that Big were essentially 2 rounds away from potentially 2-0ing the series, but now potentially they won't?
It does look very likely, and if you look deeper on those statistics of Overpass 4 Liquid, Twist is the highest rated player for them on that map, and he hasn't shown up yet in this series. Sure, they got the victory, but it wasn't the Twist that we normally know.
Nope.
So if he's normally the highest rated player, Naf is the lowest rated player on Overpass, and both of those guys had a relatively rough showing.
Well, here's the thing. I just got this weird feeling, Chad.
When
we'll
I
see.
get
I mean,
that feeling,
I need
sexual healing. Sexual
healing.
Anyway, I agree in the sentiment that I think that Liquid know that this is the weakest map in the pool. They have 2 options. Their option is, when they get a break, get rid of Overpass and now start practicing Train, or secondary, fix your bloody Overpass. And the way you can do that is by spicing it up, try something new. If Naf is you know, down towards the bottom of the barrel, for this squad on this map. Give him a new position. Try and get a lease of life for this guy because he is pivotal in those clutch moments. You know, I'm not talking 1vx situations. I'm talking crunch moments, moments where the multi-kills are pivotal, and he needs to be activated. Obviously, we know that the AWP is not a priority for Liquid on most maps. You know, they don't have a primary AWPer as a star. Nitro does the lion's share of the duties. NAF will pick it up from time to time. Twist will do the same. And obviously, we saw in that previous matchup on Inferno, Taco does it as well.
Yeah, I was impressed with Taco last map on the double up. That's not normally a position I give him a lot of credit for. Owen's feeling it. Smooya's getting pumped. He's got the music on.
Just to note with the big side of things, because I've been giving a lot of the stats points to the teams from North America this evening. Hellraisers was because they've only recently added Hobbit. But for the likes of Big, they have played... Are we on the right map here? Yes, we are. They've played overpass 6 times on LAN in the last 3 months. Tabson, no surprise, the highest rated player, followed by Nex. But the one that is a surprise to me is GobB. And that actually makes sense because when I have seen Big play this map in recent history, he's had a lot of multi-kills on the CT side towards the B bomb site. So we're going to keep an eye on him. The lowest rated player, but they also have a positive ratio, is Smooya. And I noted earlier in the tournament that Smooya on the CT side wasn't really AWPing over towards that B bomb site.
Yep.
Tabson was doing it over towards A.
I'm curious to see what Liquid choose to do differently, or if they have or thought about doing anything differently. Obviously, they left this in the pool. I think you said that their ban was Train. It leaves Nuke as our last map if needed. It would be heartbreaking to think that Big could win this and then lose the series 2-1 after nearly winning out Inferno. But I think, again, Liquid, they're capable. They certainly are. They're going against a very clever team, a team with skill in the form of Tabson as well that could match up on a good day to probably, I'm going to say it, just about anyone on Liquid except maybe Twist. I think Twist is probably on a good day still superior at this point.
Yep.
But he's been quiet in this series. So, again, I'm going to look to him. I'm going to put some pressure onto Russell. And say that he's going to have to be assertive and get a lot of opening picks and create space for his team.
I believe we're going to have the knife round going down here. And just to add to that, because normally in a lot of the series we see, especially in ESL tournaments, when you pick the map, the other team gets side choice. Here at the Supernova event, we're knifing for sides. Now, Liquid have had the opportunity to pick sides when they play this map historically, and they picked, out of their last 5 games that we've already mentioned, they've been starting on the CT side. Haven't really managed many rounds. Most of their games have been, well, 3 out of the 5 games have been single-digit games, right? That's not a great stat at all. Their very first out of those 5 games was NRG, which went overtime, and they lost there. And then the next closest was against LDLC. I believe it was a 16-11 scoreline. So they're losing to an opponent who wouldn't consider anywhere near their caliber of an LDLC. They lost to the new Fnatic roster on it, and they've lost to NRG 3 times. So it's definitely the worst map out of the 6 they play.
Yeah.
But is this the moment?
What is that little wrist warm-up from Tabson? Getting the crowd out in a string, trying to dangle them, reel them in, going fishing.
Someone tweeted me yesterday the pictures of Nex's hat from when, 2015. I'm going to see if I can find it just to see if it is the same hat. Like, I won't be able to verify it if... Oh, it's not. See, this is the hat, Matt, that he was wearing.
Yeah, the typical Vulcan logo.
Different colored bill.
Yeah, okay. Bill?
I don't know. What do you call it? What's the front bit of a hat? Is it a beak?
But a beak and a bill are similar, like a duck's beak, a duck's bill.
And ducks
we look out to our event in Malta. These lovely Maltese people. So far, no one's dabbed, which means I like them more than most North American crowds.
You're tempting them.
That's true. I am. As Zeus gets back to his feet, so we're going to get started. So it's Liquid that will be forced to go on the attack early. Our pistol is underway. As at this point, it's a 2-2 split with Naf holding out bomb in middle to make sure no one's going to push up the underpass position. In fact, he'll drop it and go down the ladder himself. Is a bit of a forward stance from both GobB and Tabson. They'll play likely in conjunction, I imagine, pretty much the whole time over on that site. And Smooya will be the man that dictates whether or not GobB perhaps goes toward B with that AWP. Sorry, being Smooya on the AWP if GobB leaves the site because of that.
Lots of rotations on a map like Overpass. We touched on it in the series earlier today. And now we are seeing a very spread out default pistol round from Liquid, just waiting for any information. They've allowed the clock to tick down to roughly a minute before they have reconvened. And now they want to go for a B execute. They do have 2 smokes. One flashbang and a Molotov. One would assume they're either going to do the wall smokes or they're going to do a sight smoke and a heaven smoke, use the Molotov towards barrel, and the flash will be what they pounce off of. You can see here that right now Nitro has a smoke lined up, and that looks like that'll be the heaven smoke coming out from Naf. He's in a position to very easily throw the barrel Molotov as well, so that would be the expectation. Here we go, utility coming on over, and here is the attack.
Next with one. Smooya tries to get back down the ramp. He's got to fit a reload in. That means Tizian's got to hold off the front line. They jump past Tizian. They take him down as his aim is distracted. He couldn't find one shot, and it cost them two. As GOB is slowly but surely arriving to the detriment of the situation and realizing his hopes and dreams have been crushed and limited. I say that. Great shot on Taco to start it off. Tries to jump. Doesn't quite make it, but perhaps still something in it. He's got a bit of time to work with. No kit, but has armor. He can take the fights. He's going to do exactly that. My goodness, he's got another fantastic aim on Nitro. Swaps to the Glock so he can go battling against Twist. Twist slides out, and he's had enough. He'll put him down.
I was about to say, as that retake was coming in, this is not in the realms of possibility for GOB. Sure, the guy's a tactical mastermind. Sure, he has his moments with multi-kills, but 1v3 against Liquid with some of the most highly spoken about players in the world in terms of their fragging ability, and he's gone in there and popped off 2 heads easily. We are going to see a quick technical pause come out here. Just
yeah, I saw Naf in-ears out, so I assume it's just a quick sound check.
It's normally the one.
Do you want to know what I think he was doing? He kind of took them out, looked at them, put them back in.
Oh, he might have had left to right in wrong.
He didn't reverse them, but it's possible that he thought he did.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's not too many dramas here, but here's these 2 lovely shots. There's one, and there's the other. Jeez, not far away from getting that one, was he? Let's be real. They are going to take the eco approach. Means we will be seeing the first gun round following in the subsequent. Right now, if you are Liquid, you want to allow those UMPs and that MP5 to do as much farming as possible. There's no head armor, so...
Let's see if they learn from NRG. They did. Look, they're not going to peek. Guy goes sandbags. They literally have watched what NRG did last game and said, hey, hang on.
It's a nice little idea, isn't it?
It is. I think everyone's going to start doing that. It does mean that you sort of have to commit 4 players to that side of the map now rather than 3.
Yeah.
But it's fine because if you don't get the information 3, you're just going to instantly rotate. You don't stand there forever all day long.
Sure.
We'll check it now. No one there. Back over to the bathrooms. Tabson's got company. Somebody's dropped a smoke bomb in the bathrooms.
This one here, realistically, considering the lackluster of purchases for Big, Liquid would be very unhappy if they lost more than 1 player. You really want to be getting through this one really clean. They don't have any utility left other than a smoke in the hands of Twist. That decoy doesn't count for anything. So it will be the B approach, and they can just stay guns on. With no utility, it means no one's getting caught with their pants down. They've gone for the boost again, but...
It's too late. They're already in the site. You can't even see it at that point. Taco, Elige, they will get 1 from it, surprisingly.
It's called both now, though, so they're pinned, they're trapped, they're dead.
Just run them over. Get the steamroller moving. Do you remember when the doorway used to open there into the hallways? That's how it used to come out.
That's so long ago. So here's the thing.
Version 2 overpass.
When these maps came out...
Yeah, you avoided them until you had to.
we didn't play them at all.
I had a feeling. I think a lot of teams did that.
This was also because back when you'd play majors, it was always the best of 1, but it was a situation where you had so many bans, you just get rid of your weakest ones, and then it was random out of 3 maps remaining. So like you'd only have to practice 3 maps, or 4 maps really. So there wasn't any need to pick up Overpass or Cobblestone when they were first introduced into the pool. Big will take a tactical pause here, and the reason for this is such a pivotal round. They need to focus, they need to really talk through it, and GOB's actually opted to go for the CZ75, which would tell me that he's dropped his silenced M4 to Smooya. We can tell,
actually. A lot
actually.
of chatter on the topic.
So Tabson, when he pulls out his gun, we can have a look.
You're trying to fly around, you can just press space and literally...
No, I want to look at the guns when they pull it out, because it'll tell who dropped it. So when Tabson pulls out his primary, it'll tell us who dropped him the gun, in theory.
All right, let's see, Chad.
Do it, Tabson, pull it out. If someone dropped him a gun, because Tabson dropped GOB the CZ. Come on, do it, Tabson.
You're waiting for the default skin. GOB
He dropped him an AWP. There we go. And that's what I'm talking about. It's not Smooya doing the primary AWPing on a map like this, so...
takes
trade.
down Smooya, but it is next to get him back on the AUG. Agata. There's two of them again. Tizian with Taco now. He's lined him up. Monster for an AUG could be a perfect position for it. Listen to those things fire.
That's scary, isn't it?
It sounds like suppressing fire, literally from like a Brothers in Arms or like Medal of Honor game.
We used to call in Source the silenced M4, well, the M4 with the silencer on. You should never use it in that fashion. It's called the anti-aircraft gun.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Because it just sounded so harsh, like you were trying to shoot down some form of aircraft. But this round, the trades have been back and forth, and we still have 53 seconds left. A lot of utility in the hands of Liquid, and they are staying with the buddy system, at least to clear connector. That gives them the point of reference if they want to rotate after a fake, but with the bombs positioned in the backyard, it will be the B hit. Nitro's going to flush them on out into sewer. Twist will be the point man clearing that area. Now the remainder of the utility should be used in a basic sense. Molotov to barrel, smoke for heaven, but Monster could be a problem, as you mentioned earlier. Tizian's still alive. Org and taps him. Now with the AWP, look, that's why Godby dropped it. 2 big kills for him, and that's all she wrote on the flank. Faith himself, putting Faith. You guys should do more with that.
Fatih is his name, though.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, it was a good try. Yeah, you nearly got it, except that you were way off.
Completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Important round. And the bite's back from Liquid is in as they're able to get together a buy. This time round, Taco only has a CZ, but everyone else has rifles. Galil for NAF is the only real omission. Liege with the Krieg. 2 AKs as well, so swing around here. Whoever loses this one will probably be forced into a save. Double AWPs out. They've taken long quite quickly. They've already got the tree under their control. Nitro's posturing there, waiting for a reboot, and Godby's the man who wants to take that fight. Nade's gonna land.
Oh, yeah, baby.
That one's gonna sting.
Hit him with a text. Tabson is going to take out Elige. Lines up again, smoke still down, try and get behind it, so Tabson's angle slightly construed as he's got to look both directions. In fact, he's going to get clever. This is very smart. Use the smoke to your advantage. Get away from the fact that Naf wanted to push him out of the bathrooms, and Godby came to his aid anyway to pincer Taco, so Naf really left with little. This is very good movement indeed from Big as they control the situation, and it's thank you next to the round. I hate that song.
So, within a small period of time, the AWPs have already shown why they are so pivotal on a map like Overpass. And look at Naf, he already looks dejected. We're only 4 rounds in. This is a question mark, right? The thing is, when you have so much firepower on your team, on a map like Overpass, where a lot of it is posturing, a lot of it is just about movement and using utility to push them back and grab map territory. And the duels are never just heads up, right? Unless you go straight into a rush, unless you go straight into an execute, it's very rare that it's just a heads up duel. We can talk through this because it is just the full eco approach coming out from Liquid, and if anything exciting happens, then it's one of those miracle rounds. But it's not just like, hey, you know, twist, go here and shoot some baddies. It's a chessboard on a map like this, and that's something that Big are much better at doing than a Liquid, as Tabson continues the domination.
Yeah, absolutely slaying them. It's down to 2 in the scoreboard, and just 1 for Taco.
The bomb's down. Taco only has a Glock. It doesn't matter what map control he has, unless he can get a knife kill. That's probably the only positive thing that you could see coming out of a play like this. But as we move forward, I'm going to be curious of the plays that Liquid want to make. If they can do bomb site executes, get on top of the economy, and then force Big to play more of like a gamble stack style of game, then yeah, cool. Maybe they can get on top of them within this half. However, if they go for the standard map control, I don't think it really suits the general play style of Liquid. They want to take the fights with you, right? They have 3 players who are more than happy to take those duels. And this is where the omission of the AWP comes into play on a T side, because it's not about getting the kills with the AWP. It's almost about instilling fear within map control. If you take an area of long and then they shoot an AWP bullet and you know that there's an AWP holding that territory, it's very unlikely the CTs will re-aggress. Or if they do, they have to use utility. They have to use a little bit more of a, I guess, calculated approach. So you can see here, still no AWP in play. It's going to be 5 rifles. The Krieg is the only one with a scope, and that's going to be in the hands of Elige, who appears to be ride or die with this bad boy since the update. Tizian only has the MP9, so there is a hole in the weaponry for Big, but gonna walk back into Tabson, who this time will fall down, and this is good. This is a very interesting turn of events, because even with the opening kills, Liquid have a very poor round conversion rate on Overpass. I believe it's something like 55%. That's abysmal. I think their 4v5 conversion rate is even worse. We're talking sub 20%. That is terrible. That means you're never winning a situation where you're finding that opening death. Unable to trade. They need to be converting these rounds with a kill, but Nex almost had something to say about that. Steps out, gets one, instantly traded by Nitro. Now onto the B-bomb site they go. Gob B, this is normally where he does his best work with multi-kills of impact. Grenade is going to be enough to do some damage, but Liege stays poised. We'll find a kill, and now it's a 4-on-1 situation with Smooya pushed on in. He wants to get aggressive, has to combat Orb. Isn't going to hit the kill, and then he'll be swarmed out by Naf. Dropped. Naf actually swaps on over with the AK-47 to the M4, Matthew. That's an interesting decision.
What is that?
Has a smiley face.
Oh, that's cute.
Do you think it's weird that Naf's gone for the M4 as opposed to the AK?
Yes, I do. I think very much so, yes. Why would you ever? You want that headshot potential? Unless, where's he playing?
Well, he's on, but it's the T side, so it's like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking monster entry. That's the only thing where he's got multiple spray control positions. But yeah, you'd still on entry, you still want AK, right? Yeah, it's a tough call. It's not actually. I don't know why he would do that. Liege has Krieg. That'll make up for everything. Surely it will. Tabson missing a shot will help. So a 3-3 score. Tabson swings out, can't land it. Does actually fire a second shot. That's not damage, but it is a man chased from his hiding hole, so that gives some more map control to Liquid. And the one problem they have, you just pointed out on the map, not sure if anyone's identified it. Look where Smooya is.
He's left on an island right now, but they might not expect that position. The issue is it is with an AWP. So he can strike like a Viper, and that'll be it. Now if he tucks tail and he gets on out of dodge, he's going to actually aggress forward and push through connector. They have to deal with this position, and Taco will. That late transition from him being the B anchor, waiting for any aggression there, is able to catch Smooya, who wanted to continue forward. And now we do have that 4-on-4, but remember that stat I mentioned. They never win rounds from a man down initially, and here they're able to fight back. They're fighting back, and all the kills fall in their favor. This is a huge round for Liquid. This is outside the realms of their normality. And Tizian, he's just going to hold on to this AWP because the money situation right now, not great for Big by any means. Let me bring this stat up just to really just give you, because we've spoken about it, they have a 0% win percentage on land in the last 3 months. 0. Here it is. So 18.8% round win percent after receiving the first death. 55.1 round win percent after getting the first kill.
Unacceptable, to be fair. But you say that, and they've got a 4-3 lead right now, which is, all things considered, with those numbers being on the T side, not a bad position to find themselves in. So it's early. It's certainly not a financial stability or stable situation as of yet. But we'll see if they can really, really take it to big money-wise, because right now, obviously, they're not in a position to buy. They're going to be going on to, if I'm not mistaken, a 3rd round loss bonus after this, which will put them at the $2,400 mark, which will put them in purchase position. Certainly for Nex, he'll have the AWP available to him. But you win that one, and again, at CT side, you go back down, you pretty much have to save again. So if Liquid can go on a string of 2 rounds here and bring this to 6-3, they're going to be in a very good position for the half.
Yeah, I think that they need to put in a haul on this T side. I feel that for them to get the victory on this map, they're going to need 6 or 7 rounds.
And that's kind of why, like, it seems like I'm theory crafting a lot and saying, like, oh, yeah, 2 rounds, this, and money-wise. It's kind of why I'm leaning toward it, because they are definitely not on their home territory right now.
Yeah, for them, 5 rounds wouldn't be enough, you know. The path of the course, that's not good enough for Liquid on a map which they are significantly weaker on. And we do talk about the prep, we do talk about the way that Big come into matches like this. For them, you wouldn't be looking at too many tendencies because you know it's a weakness of Liquid's. You just look at the things that they like to do, the way that they genuinely, you know, you look at the spread. This guy plays here, this is how they rotate. You wouldn't go too deep. You wouldn't really build anything crazy new to take them on because they do struggle on a map like this. And when teams struggle on maps, you would suspect they would spend more time working on it, trying to Well, this is an interesting approach. Smooya's already taken complete sewer control, and they were going for the 3-man boost, but Smooya goes down. The boost will stay, surprisingly. I think Smooya kind of did his own thing there. That definitely wouldn't have been the call. They have a lot of faith in leaving tabseN as well as that anchor over towards the A bomb site, and that's for good reason. He's without a doubt the best player on this big roster. Can't get anything done with only a USP. He will spot the triple stack over towards B, which will accelerate things for Liquid over towards the A bomb site. There is 26 seconds left, but the bomb will go down. Locked out of the bomb site via utility.
Yeah,
that'll be number 5.
That's going to be 5. So this becomes the problem. Again, they purchase now. 5's there. If they win the next round, that's the bigger one for Liquid. This is where you get to 6 rounds already, and they're looking solid. Great shot, Nitro. Nothing to be lost from Godby at that point in time other than giving away a small kill reward to an AK. It's not like they've got SMGs anywhere. So really, by keeping them near enough to the bomb, they're just trying to get some weapons out of their hand. That's not going to happen. Tizian does get 1 kill for what it's worth. But 5-3 achieved, and Elise has 9,100 even though he died. So
pretty nice.
They are like sitting pretty for a whole other round after this, which means 2 cracks at either forcing 1 more save with the max loss bonus for Big or resetting them.
Yep. And when I was running you through these stats before we went live, you said you had a feeling that you thought this would be the one. But
yeah,
you can add context to that because let's say it is Liquid versus NRG in the grand final. Well, there is a very big, it's highly likely at that point that NRG will be picking Overpass. So Liquid know they're going to need to make their Overpass as good as they possibly can, and this is positive signs early in this matchup. They've taken control very quickly of water. They've thrown some smokes to displace players, and now they're going for a boost, seeing if they can grab anybody in transition. Tizian does love to play barrel, but he's going to get the better of them. The Org takes the scalp. 18.8% after the first death. Let's see if they can buck that trend again. Surprising Tizian read that so easily. Like, that boost was very quick. They took sewer quick. They smoked off to kind of show that, hey, maybe we are coming at a faster pace. Went for the boost to grab a player, hopefully in transition, and Tizian was well aware. So, oh, they're going for the triple boost again. Here we go. This is back in vogue all of a sudden. What an interesting approach, man.
Well, rotation's all the way back around the map. It's very interesting, but this opening pick, again, based on the stats, are favorable for Big. The fact that there's no one out on the front side of okay, Godby's going to go long. I was going to say, they have no information in this rotation until it arrives. So 35 seconds, the fact that he pushes out there, this can slow Liquid down considerably.
What the indecision from Liquid here, or the fact that they've decided to make this so late in the round, it has to be A at this point, and it's just going to walk to the slaughter. There's 1. tabseN can simply do it. There's no pressure for 2. Finally, Naf is able to get a kill, but it's all in vain. There's no time for this. Oh dear.
Shot out, Naf wins. tabseN can't land the shot. That gives Elise a chance.
Bomb's down.
There is a chance. Bomb is down, though. 7 seconds, and they don't have time to go back and get it because plant is expired. Naf needs 2 kills, and they're not going to give them up that easily. Round over. It's Big with 4. It's Liquid with no plants, and Naf needing to hold on to his weapon. He's got 8150, thankfully, because he won't get any injection after that. But 5-4, a chance to reset still. Keep that in mind. 2 players only survived, so they hit the 3 at least, but things got a little scrappy.
That's so key, the fact that they do get a chance to reset. And a great chance to reset, really. Look at this buy. Godby has bought the Alligator, which is the auto shotgun for those of you who line up with my ridiculous terminology, and Smooya is only on a FAMAS. So there is a real chance here for Liquid to get themselves more than 1 round. They did lose one. If that was an intentional, plan from Liquid, we'll run this strat and just try and get as many kills and maybe not win the round. That's something special. But I think it's Counter-Strike. You try and win every round that you can, and that's a great opening. tabseN, he drops very quickly. Oh, okay, well, easy as that. It all falls apart, doesn't it? So quick.
This is massive for Liquid, though. This is a reset. Big's in a huge amount of trouble right now. Taco just absolutely rips the head off. Now it's next with an AUG, both with bullpups, actually. The FAMAS and the AUG, the 2 bullpups in the game. Next can't transfer fast enough to catch out Twist, who emerges through the smoke. And Twist now finds himself sitting with 9 kills, top the leaderboard. That's a little more like it. He and Naf, by the way, the two that were at the bottom last map. So they've turned their fates around, and perhaps indication of why Liquid has the lead in the fashion that they do. It might only be 2 rounds, but it's significant when you look at the weapons in this particular round.
That's the scenario where losing a round it can be more beneficial for your entire half than potentially winning it. Right now, it's forced Big onto that save. And it's double eco territory, really. If you want to be grim about it, the way that they've been running these orgs and double AWP setups, if they're going to go back to the similar play as that, then it is double eco territory as Elige gets a chance to mop up some kills. He gets 2. Coming on over to join the party will be Twists and Tizian. He's stuck a connector with a silence USP. Anything at this point is a consolation. He's not winning. Taco will finish him off. So smiles all round. I'm watching the player cams as we head on over to each face of the Liquid players. And they got grins from ear to ear. So they're having fun with it. That's what you want to see. It is the double eco. Look at this. 3,900. 3,600. Yikes.
Yikes. Well, with that, Liquid now at 7-4 can continue the romp. This is potentially a North American final. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I know it's still just the first half, and it's not exactly their map.
Both teams, though, Matt, with 2 Canadians, 2 North Americans, and an import.
There's some similarities there, isn't there?
Just a couple.
Yeah. The swing and the miss as Smooya tries to go for the pistol but can't do it. The AKs aim for the fences and make no mistake hitting a home run baseball as it's a 5-on-3. Nade through the window, well thrown. Easier said than done, but it's Tabs and Gobby and Next that seemingly want to hold on to what they've got, which isn't much.
Will you take me out to the ball game?
I will take you out to the St. Julian's Paceville party stream. Is that a deal?
We literally just have to walk outside. And
yeah, I know. We literally live on it right now. It's great. I haven't gone one night.
Well, tonight's the night, I guess. Bomb's going to blow up. Round number 8 on the board for Liquid. This is... You guys have heard me bang on about stats all night. Liquid are well and truly playing outside of the realms that normally govern their overpass matches. So whatever approach they found that appears to be working here and now, anything they get from this point onwards, in my opinion, is icing on the cake. Haven't had to take pauses. Zeus hasn't had to chime in with anything. Whatever game plan they're able to mount overnight appears to be working. Double orbs will come out now again from Big. This is where they're going to have to stand and fight. An 8-7 half is the best they can do now. Quick approach again from Liquid. The default spread, Taco babysitting B. Going for early toilet control before the smoke landed, so Twister's going to be a little bit too quick. They also threw a deep, I guess, toilet stairs smoke. So they wanted to isolate players playing in front of that. Unable to do so, and now you have to win a 4-on-5, a 3-on-5. As Taco limps on out into the scope of Smooya. So both AWPs within the first 50 seconds of the round getting work done.
Elige will make contact directly through the smoke. Tizian's going to have the great screen, and all too easily taken down. I take it back. Elige somehow gets away with it. The smoke was there, and Naf is the next in the firing line because Smooya found one, but only one with the AWP. It's not gone all his way as Tabson still has the second one on rotation. Smokes in. That allows Nitro to walk to the site. Fakes it. 44 seconds. Wants to try and fade it in, rightfully so, because Next might have been able to line that up nonetheless.
Well, they can get out of dodge, and they will.
Yeah, they're going to back away.
The problem is, for the CTs to rotate from bomb site to bomb site, it's so easy, and the choke point will actually give the AWPer a chance to take 1v1 duels. They haven't actually drawn a rotation. They need to be careful here. Godby now is kind of thinking he needs to get it on back, and he will, but Nex and Tabson are still there. They've crouched on in. They've been able to get under the vision of the AWP player, but Nex is the one they have to deal with. He is going to step on up, grab the first kill. That's 3. That's a good round damage-wise, and he needs to plant the bomb, but the clock is against him. 5 seconds left. It's going to go down. The push is going to come in. Tabson chasing, but no trade available. Will hit the kill, will stay alive.
I just want to go back. You did say 2 Canadians on energy. There's 1.
Oh, where I think there was 2?
I used to think Fugly was Canadian for some reason too, but it's
Oh.
not. It's just
It's just
Daps. I was
Daps.
very confused by that too, but I was like, am I wrong? Like, am I
there was
not
2
giving someone the credit they
Canadians.
deserve for being from the best country in the world? But then, no,
All
it's
right.
just Daps.
Well, my apologies. It's just Daps.
The Dap fella. This is now 8-5, so Big Pole 1 back at least. But you know what that means?
Reset.
Yeah. It is round 14.
It's like
But it's
Voldemort.
still a reset for the 15th round if it happens, meaning you could go 10-5, potentially 10-5. On the T side for Liquid, that's what do we call that? Christmas Day, Happy Hanukkah, Chinese New Year,
Carnival.
Carnival. Yeah, yeah, Cologne Carnival though, not the other ones. That's your favorite. You
Not
don't get
my
any sleep
favorite.
for 6 weeks because everyone's outside.
It's not great. It is fun.
Smooya's looking for an angle with the AWP, gets on top of the boards on B. Meanwhile, Nitro's already cleared out the underpass, meaning that Liquid can start to take the bathrooms. Get map control on the A side of the map. Taps him with the op, falls away. He'll try and wait to see if there's any possibility to repeat. He's done that actually early. I thought maybe he would wait for a further cue, but he's not seen or heard much else. Spawns 1 jumping across. Actually, hit that?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Got him through the wall. That is a decent amount of damage, 39 HP, considering that was on a reaction, on a pixel gap. The 2 players that went to long, Twist and Elige will be well aware of the situation. I say Twist and Elige, but Nitro and Elige, excuse me. But Tapson wants more. He's not done with Twist. Second shot works. And did that just... Nade just do that much damage on Elige? I think it was Gobby made contact with him. Elige just come out worse for wear as well. So Big are looking fine and in good position. Tapson's still alive in this, despite that they're all around him, and he starts to run away, but they wrap. And in wrapping, they're going to find Nex on the site. It all falls apart. It was on tender hooks, to be fair. The positioning of that op in the front of the bathroom.
Yeah. They have to save, though. If they went for this, that'd be the hard reset in such a late stage. So we're going to get 9 on the board for Liquid going into the last round. If they didn't have these, we'd only be seeing the $1,400 bonus going through. I think what really needs to be noted here, and I'm not saying it's a bad approach at all, because Tabson is the best German player. He is the best player on Big. But they play a more of a passive setup towards the A bomb site when he is the only man. Obviously, God B was playing over towards long a little bit. But normally they're putting so much stock in him to solo hold A, get 1 kill and allow a rotation to come in, because you can see how easy they can hedge towards B. A lot of the executes from Liquid late round towards the B bomb site have meant there have been 4 players on the site for Big Clan. Now in this regard, Tabson did damage. It felt enough to scare them off. It felt it was difficult enough for them to just go for a set piece, but when they were able to get the kills, the dominoes fell. There was already God B and Nex there on the site, but weaponry wasn't good enough. And Liquid are doing a really good job. So that's one of the tendencies that I assume Zeus and Nitro would have identified when watching the demos of Big, is just how much stock they put in Tabson on that A bomb site in the last round. Saved AWP, save AUG. Everybody else is scrapped together. An ugly looking fight. They need 6, and that's not the start. Elige rips off Smooya's head. There's one of the saved guns. The AWP, the big green, out of the picture very early. Tabson's scope will have been heard from Twist in this position. Definitely close enough to that one. It doesn't matter. Taco's doing the work on B. Big having to make risky plays when players are dropping early.
Yeah, an op that far forward at this point in the round with only Tizian. 10-5 for Liquid is
huge.
Massive. This is, forget Big, they're gargantuan.
I think this, I'll have to go back and check the numbers, obviously.
Naf's still not loving those in-ears. I think he actually just looks like his ears are being bothered. They're probably doing a lot of practice in the practice room over the last day or two. And
yeah.
They could certainly wear on you. I didn't find them during the show match as bad as I thought I would, because that's the first time they've made us wear the noise canceling over earbuds for a show match. But that said, if you were wearing them for a long period of time.
Best of 3.
Yeah, or just even a day of practice and warm up, then the best of 3, I could see them being rather bothersome to the ear.
I think that the molded in ears is probably the way that needs to go. Don't Big have those? The molded in ears? I heard that they did all that jazz. I'm not 100%. I'll have to get the fact check.
Yeah, Big did it. They have a sponsorship.
Yeah, well,
I
that's...
forget the company, because yeah, this is something Fallon and I were tweeting back and forth about for a while. I mentioned like Formula 1 drivers and whatnot, where they're, I mean, those helmets are tight. It takes, I have to, if I don't have my balaclava on, putting on my helmet, which is the same mold as like FIA ones, not quite the same as some of the Schubarth ones, but if I don't even take my earrings out or anything, like I can't even get it on. It's that tight. So they have to wear super tight earbuds.
Sure. Get this, Matt. If we go back and we look at all of the T-halves for Liquid on the 5 games that they've lost in the last 3 months on LAN on this map.
That shot from Elige was just silly.
The most rounds...
A little bit of luck, but you gotta love that he creates the luck, right?
Yeah, the most rounds they've won on their T-half is 8. So here they've exceeded that. It's 10. Normally it's in the realms of 4, 4, 7, and 1. So this here they've gone above and beyond what we normally see out of them. Now they have what should be the easier side. Nitro's going to throw a flash, allows Elige to pick for information with Twists in tow. Taco there as well. So 3 players ready for a fast B. But it looks like Big want to go for a default slow approach. They have utility to throw as well. Godby has a decoy, 2 flashbangs and a smoke. Tizian has a smoke and a Molotov. And this round is slowed. tabseN has found an early position over towards Sandbag. It looks like he wants to lurk from that position. They've already got toilet control. So with 1:20 left on the clock, a lot of map control in the hands of Big. This is wherever this execute is going to land. You could see a bank smoke with a CT drop smoke and a Molotov over towards A. But look at this, tabseN's just going for information over towards B. And our Pip camera, he has a lot of info and looks like he's just going to stay on that B side as kills are happening all across the map.
Twist gets tabseN back. Liquid looking to find 11 and get the great start on this CT side. Nitro firing in toward the bathrooms, has to fade away as he wants to be efficient, and he is. Nex is gone. In the smoke, and Taco to rotate. 18 HP only for Taco, but clever position. Gets up by the bank truck. Could even go for a boost, and they will. Oh, okay, I don't know if it was intended or not. Nitro gets away from it. I was going to say, it gives you a bit of vision that you don't have otherwise, but you can't see over the yellow box, so really you can play that by angles. As Godby finding 2.
Doable.
It is absolutely doable. Look at Tizian. Look at the HP. Flash over. Tizian's forward of it. Finds one. Nearly got the 90-degree swing, but Nitro is going to get Liquid the round. Makes, I think if I'm not mistaken, the Pistols 6 of them, now 4-2 in favor of Liquid. It was 2-0, 2-0, 2-0 in that order for each team.
So good signs.
I love Lamp.
You love Lamp? Anchorman reference. So this is pretty much how the scoreboard would look. If you go look at the stats right now for Big, tabseN at the top, Nex is normally number 2, Godby is 3rd in ranking, Tizian, and then Smooth down the bottom. I don't know why Smooth has such a strugglesome time. You feel like as the primary AWPer on the CT side, you'd normally see him as the A guy going aggressive, but that's the role that they've given to tabseN. That could be a systemic problem for them potentially in the future, but right now it doesn't matter. They've gone for the force buy. They've got 2 AK-47s, 1 on tabseN, 1 on Nex. Smooth with the scouting. Oof. Getting through the smoke. Onto Naf, he will fall. He only had a shotgun, so that's not the end of the world. And now they're posturing over towards B for what could be an execute. There is enough utility to do so, a basic one, however. That smoke might hold them at bay for the next 18 seconds. There we go. They have to drop back. They know they just want to hold on to some map territory, able to drop back with the time on the clock. Aggression is happening right now from Elige over towards A. So his postured position gives them enough information to not be too worried about an A execute. Long is open, but that has a timer on it. Someone will have to rotate back eventually to grab that position. I believe it's Nitro who's doing so right now. So this waiting period by Big has forced some repositioning out of Liquid, who have both players, Twists and Taco, eyes on Monster. As I say that, they drop back. And now it looks like the B hit is coming on in, Matt, with 30 seconds to go.
Taco will play with Twist in the pits. Twist hugging the wall so as not to allow utility to make his eyes blinded. He wants to swing the ramp. You can tell Taco wants to hold off sandbags to give him the information. When he does so, but they're coming in from Monster. That creates a trade, and not only that, Nex has a leash, and in doing so, momentarily, temporarily, giving the lead to Big, but that's pulled back, restored, and it's all to a Cowboy with a deagle and a shotgun.
Time.
He's got one, though. He hit Nitro. Time, but HP!
Oh, no.
My goodness. If he even fired that shotgun, a single pelt would have taken down Taco.
Godby left in 2 clutch situations back-to-back where he had some impact kills, unable to finish it off as Liquid hold on by the skin of their teeth. At this point, do you go for the force again? You're still in a great position to break the economy of Liquid, but Big haven't backed themselves in on the force buys. They definitely didn't do so Inferno. which may have been their undoing. And here they're just going to go for a bit of a pistol upgrade. 2 smokes. Nothing else too fancy as it should just be a mop right now. This aggressive play coming out. Illusion Twist opening the account. And it should be 13 on the board for Liquid to the 5 of Big.
Gobby with one onto Twist. Good find onto Elise, but again, 3rd time in a row he's left in a clutch situation, and this time with less to work with. Businessman with a needle and a spoon. It's 13 to 50. I mean 5. That's not.
There's not that many rounds.
Listen, calm down. It's 13 to 5. If Henry was here, he would have corrected me sooner. So I blame you, Chad.
He's here in spirit.
He is here. He's always here in spirit. He lives deep within the fire of my heart.
Do or die right now for Big. Everybody has utility other than Nex, who only has that AK-47 and armor. Smooya will get his preferred weapon, the AWP, so let's see how they base this. It does look like it is just the default spread. 2 players over towards the B-bomb site, 1 player in connector. And 2 people watching the pushes, one playground looking towards long, and 1 towards the T-stairs looking towards party. This is the standard approach, what we've come to expect. This is quiet re-aggression, though, onto Sewer from Liquid. I like the assertive play there. Get a kill on the tap, the flash comes out. Taco still going to find the kill. Trade will come in from Tizian. But is that enough to disrupt whatever execution he had in mind?
Next, back to the bathrooms. Chad breaks the set.
Sorry.
Lots of wires here, Chad.
I'm not paying for that. It's not in the contract.
I hate to break it to you, but you're... Smooya's got a leash. That's at least something to look forward to for Big, because they have a man advantage to play with now that the weapons are out. So in doing so, I'll give themselves some execution space. 42 seconds only, as Tizian, flashing forward to the bathroom, is going to hope to help the attack onto the A site. Nitro's still waiting, smoke down. He's going at, okay. I thought he was going to just hold long. If he had maybe held his crosshair placement there, fair enough, he might have got that shot, but he had to look, right? He had to find information. It's just one of those typical CS things where the timing goes against him. Now, it's 2 men back, Twist. He got the kill. If that had been a bomb denial, you might have had the round, but I say that, and despite that man drowning, it's actually the T's winning the round.
Big round, keeping themselves alive here. We did see a comeback from Liquid in similar fashion on Inferno, which was their map choice. This time round, Big, with their backs against the wall, will have to fight. I don't think Liquid will take the same conservative approach that we did see come out of Gobby and the boys. So right now, we will see an eco, but as things trickle forward, I suspect they'll go for the riskier buy rounds. P250s on 4 members, now the USP. Elijah even has head armor to go with it. So he's fully invested. Elijah's down to 150 bucks in the bank. Maybe thinking they were going to go for a force buy as a team.
Elijah just hanging out in the corner, is about to get a little hot and sweaty. He's not. Oh, poor Tizian. Did everything right except that it was all wrong.
Okay, this gets interesting now because he has head armor.
That an AK picked up.
Yeah, so at this point, and they've boosted him in a very interesting position over towards connector. They can leave him.
It's a conservative position, right? Very situational. The fact that they're going to go on toward A really is unfortunate for his position. If they went to B, if they went underneath of him, it'd be spectacular. Meanwhile, Gobby with the AK heading out to the site. Smokes go down deep as well. Now trying to fire back in. This is doable, by the way. This is 13-6 scoreline with the stats we've read from Liquid. This is absolutely possible. Twist. Oh, he's got to get the kill. Finally does. From range. Had to tap forever with the P250, but bombs dropped temporarily. Remember, Elijah has the AK. Bombs dropped in a position where that AK could actually see toward that position. Elijah's gone and been removed. He's taken out by Nex. That changes it all. As Taco found through the wall, it's going to be the round to Big. This
Good damage.
Is certainly doable.
Good damage overall, and I'm surprised that Gob didn't clear that corner because even though we could see where Twist was on X-ray, you could actually see his leg jutting out from the wall, or at least it looked like it.
It looked like it can be misleading. The textures can change things.
We do know that from time to time, the Spectator client plays tricks on us. Even starts witch hunts. And I don't like witches.
I like Butcher 3.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
I've had the name, for some reason, Philippa Eilhart stuck in my head for like the last week.
Is that something to do with Witcher?
She's in The Witcher, yeah.
Oh, okay. So right here, that force buy from Elige in the previous has put them in a weird position. Everybody else has enough money to buy, at least get a rifle in hand. It is a tactical pause, so I guess they're going to talk through, hey, should we go for it, even though Elige can really only get a CZ75 or a 5.7, maybe a UMP if he wanted. They're talking it through. They just want to work out the approach, and Taco's bought some nades. It will just be the pistol upgrade again. So this is the same conservative approach that Big went for on Inferno. Almost mirrored in terms of how these maps are playing out.
And keep in mind that Big had the lead there at 14 rounds, and Liquid came all the way back and took the win. So it could be similar situations here, given the fact that we know this is not at all a comfortable territory or terrain for Liquid.
We got a nuke. I feel that this could be anybody's series, right? I still have Liquid as the firepower favorites, but Inferno was close as it gets. And if they lose from this lead, that could be... Oh, Taco. Hello. This boost, man. How much have we seen it in one day?
Yep, quite a bit.
Too much, maybe.
Well, you know what? Not enough for Taco. He would have liked to get more than just the single kill, but knowing well that they would be staring back at it with AKs, they'll back off and rotate into the site rather than being stuck toward jungle when they arrive.
Oh, that would have been an absolute cluster right there towards Monster because they'd pushed forward in such a position.
Oh, he's not in the right spot, though. It was all perfect except that he wasn't quite into the wall. That CZ never had a chance against the AKs.
Definitely not at that range. Now the repositioning and the mind games come in. Where are they going? There's no information really for Liquid other than this pick right here from Elige, and that's more than enough. There's one bullet to the head of the next. He's going to fall. Now he can get back. Now the pistols, they don't have to play the range. The pressure's on Big. They need to regroup. They have so much of the map to clear with only 30 seconds left. It does look like it is going to be A. Gobby has the bomb. We'll be throwing utility over towards this bomb site, and that's going to be more than enough of a telegraphed approach for the rotation to come in. Everyone from Liquid's going to skedaddle over towards the A bomb site now.
Smooya takes Elige, but it's Taco with another. This is down to a 2-on-2. No guns picked up for Liquid, but there is armor on Twist. Smokes on both staircases, meaning that it's going to be very difficult to get inside of the site. Tizian proves that to be true. Naf with very, very little options. Yeah, that's fine.
He did a great job spamming to allow the push to come through, but Tizian, fantastic job as the Guardian Angel, so Gobby could get the bomb down. Dicey round. I wouldn't say on a knife's edge, but a valiant effort from Liquid to make it costly first and foremost. And they really had a shot in that one. Good utility usage once again from Big. We always speak about it. We always talk about how proficient they are with their utility.
So, the bomb goes boom. And the round goes to 8 for Big. Just want to check on the Smooya because he was a little quiet in the first half. Still is. Sits at 7. In fact, Gobby with double. And 14 is just behind that of Tabson on 17, who's second only in the server to Twist on 19. So we said that he was going to be stepping up at some point in time.
Had to happen, right?
Absolutely had to happen. The scores that he's put up in the last few months and in the last 8 months specifically for Liquid, I would say he's in contention for a top 10 spot in the Peter from HLTV.org ratings.
It's a good place to live. Just to note, we did this on Inferno. I spoke about the utility usage of Big and Liquid. Big are the #1 rated team on Overpass out of the top 20 for flash assists with a 0.44 rating. It's quite a lot. It means they're playing for each other all the time. Their ADR usage is 24.1. So average damage around. Not as good as Inferno, but the choke points aren't as close. And that comes in within the top 3 teams on this out of the top 20. Whereas Liquid, their utility usage is not great. You know, their flashes is 0.26, so almost half of that of what. This is a really important round. Never mind. That should be it. I hate to say it so soon, but 2 big opening kills on the B bomb side should be open for business. Naf is the only man to stop any aggression as Tizian will fall. Gobby will trade that out. Knife is saving right now.
Bombs drop though. Elige gets it through the smoke. Gobby can't plant on the back of it. They'll go for a second crack at it. Second bite of the cherry, as some would say. I don't like cherries, but I can tie the stem into a knot with my tongue. And I do accept $10 bills. HP was low, no nades, couldn't fire one in, couldn't take them down. 2 incendiaries, but they just couldn't get there in time. Look at Nex. He's actually lurking off of this. Nitro is on the other side. They're basically beside each other at this point in time. I think it's going to favor Nitro because Nex doesn't realize that, and he's going toward the A site.
But wouldn't he call that he would have heard Elige rotating, so he can call for backup. They can go for exits. The money's not great, but if you take these away from Liquid, that's that hard reset. They're not going to swarm. They're not going to go for it in the fashion that I thought. And now this reposition from Nitro, exactly like you said, he will have the advantage.
Oh, they just lost one of the bomb. Tabson went down.
Not ideal.
No, that's not really ideal considering you're chasing the lead here at this point in time. So that's another AK gone. They have built up a decent amount of residual cash, but Liquid gets back to the money this time around and perhaps look for that evasive 14th round.
That was 2 really quick openings. Liquid took an assertive play, right? You saw that they flashed and they went for a duel at Monster, but Smooya's sitting back with the AWP. That's what you do at the defaults, right? You always have someone as a caretaker of that position. It's very unlikely you're going for an all-in, and if it is, it will be towards that B-bomb side. So, default spread once more. This time, the AWP will be plied over towards Connector, allowing Tizian to creep up on the close wall, not having to worry about the wide peaks. Nitro will be boosted. They only have the 2 saved guns, really, to write home about. Okay.
Like that crosshair. He's going to do it. He's going to do it. It's Smooya. He's going to do it. I'm calling it right now. He's going to do it, and Nitro goes down.
That wasn't even the way that was meant to play out. A teammate was going to open the door, but Nitro's thrown a nade of his own. And Smooya with the quicker reaction time. I suppose as soon as you see that door get open, you may as well take the shot. He knew what was on the other side, whereas for Old Born Nitro, he was hoping to find a lucky kill. Elige is doing his best to battle with the AUG. He's going to get taken down trying to scamper backwards, and Godby's going to find Naf, who wanted to get the dropped weapon. Should be another round on the board here for Big, getting them up to 10. How this gets scary. It's just crazy. 2 maps back to back. It's basically a mirror of one another at this point. And I don't like looking at those.
Tizian sitting inside of construction, just waiting to see if anyone will boost. Liquid struggling. That I could see this going 3 maps. I really could. They're not getting the kills anymore. They're not being assertive. The guns are absolutely dominating them, and they're gone. There's just no chance. I genuinely see Big bringing this back at this point in time.
Yeah,
Liquid just doesn't seem like they have any map control.
Big also have a lot more moves. Like when they lose an opening kill, or maybe it gets a little bit dicey, they have a lot more knowledge of utility usage, right? Every time that they take a bomb site mid to late round, there's always smokes. They know where they're going to cotton off with the utility. Just there, they did the wall smokes over towards ABC. And with the heaven smoke, so you know what type of jewels you're taking every time. When they went A, they're able to do the closer wall smokes, and they're able to do the deep bank and CT drop smokes with enough utility Molotovs to follow. Maybe we'll do a little quick recount right now of the way that the frags are falling for everybody at home, because the scoreline will now tick on up. 13 rounds for Liquid, 10 on the board for Big. Godby and Tabson both sitting on 18 kills. This is one of the maps where Godby does his best work. Next on 12, 9 apiece for Tizian and Smooya as the scoreboard comes up for everybody at home. But those listening on the wireless, 19 for Twists, 17 for Elige, Naf on 16, Nitro and Taco. The heroes, in my opinion, on Inferno with 15 apiece. Maybe normality restored in terms of the scoreboard.
What does that mean, Chad? You speak German.
I believe it means warning or caution.
Danger? Doesn't mean danger?
I'll Google it.
It's in like a red and white encapsulated sign. Usually that's like the danger.
It was Achtung, right?
Yeah. Just ask OK Google. So Godby coming up with a plan, a surmise to try and take down Liquid. 3 rounds, the difference between them, 3 rounds, the deficit of Liquid to finishing this series out. But it's been held and halted for quite some time. In fact, the last 5 rounds have all gone to Big. 3 with bomb detonations indicates saves from Liquid, so they've been trying to hold the cash together. Double up set up as a result of that. Naf going to be on it this time, not Taco, so he's not feeling it on the B site, and rightfully so. It's going to be Naf that actually starts it off, taking down Tabson, his 17th kill. Everyone on Liquid's very close together in terms of kills, by the way.
Indeed, and that's a huge scalp to take. That's Tabson out of the picture. And you were right, it is warning. That is danger.
Danger. I was going to say, it like the white and red,
yeah,
usually. Just a guess. Clever little flash to cover off the front of the bathrooms, but it's not going to matter when Elise already backs away. He on the AUG. Smooya on the op.
They're going to boost on over this. They might be able to catch someone in limbo. Nitro is probably going to drop back as that smoke starts to expire. So this could be perfect timing here as Smooya can see a lot. And there it is. Oh no, he's missed a sitter and Godby will fall. That's a kill that Smooya had to make. The bomb will be dropped, so that information will be relayed, but in a 3-on-5 situation, there's no need to fall and play the bomb, knowing that the big green is in play. You're just going to offer yourself up for Smooya to be getting free picks. Taco's aggression over towards B. Another piece of the puzzle is going to fall. Finally, some success for Liquid after a 10-5 first half. After winning the CT pistol and converting, it's been very quiet.
Nex could catch Nitro out here. The fact that he's playing Parkside but has no information to long and there's no indication of any utility being thrown in that direction means that he's just a sitting duck standing target. And they really need this round, Liquid. They've been so at a loss to find kills and to find wins. Naf. They will get it, and thankfully it's Naf, but it's only one player going down from Liquid's perspective, because I think a reset is a huge possibility, considering that it's taken them 5 rounds to get one. If they get one, at least they have some residual cash. But Big's not done by any means. They had so much money left over, they go immediately back onto a Smooya AWP and guns for the rest.
Here's the thing with Naf. We talked about this on Inferno with him stepping up with those clutch kills from Library. Sure, they have the lead, but it's the same sentiment right now with that AWP. That opening kill is what allowed, you know, the rest of the players to get the frags that they had to. So he steps up in these moments. He's that guy. He doesn't shy away. Oh, wow.
Good shot from Tizian.
How does he even see that? My eyes.
I don't know. I couldn't. I was trying to see that without the X-ray. It's kind of hard to trick your brain away from it, but I don't think I would have saw that. No way.
It's a tiny little gap, maybe just a pre-fire.
Do you remember when the player names used to show up if you were staring at someone? That's how Guardian was killed on Cobblestone that time behind the firewall.
You can do it with the crosshair as well, where it goes red, right?
Yep.
So that's one way of doing things.
Because in COD, that was a big deal as well. You could leave the names on, and it would just be like, if you were looking at like a head that looked like a texture, it'd be like, oh, that's a dude. Click, dead.
Nex has actually done a very good job of finding free space over
I noticed you don't talk
bathrooms.
about COD chat, I get it.
No, I'm just very immersed in the game. I don't get to cast often, so I'm using this as a treat.
We've got more. Smooya goes back into the bathroom. Carry on your point about Nex.
He just has been able to grab a lot of territory over towards this part of the map, but hasn't had a chance to capitalize on it too much. And here, he might have had a chance.
Oh, wow.
Flashed up, orped off.
That's 2 for Liquid. This is suddenly a streak of form as well. There's only an AWP, 2 AKs, and no money left over for Big at this point in time. 27 seconds. They've got the utility to pull this off. They've got 2 Molotovs, 2 smokes, and a flash, and they've used them. They're going. Godbeat trying to get the bomb plant in with 18 seconds. Snap, get the kill. Oh, Nitro swung out, but Tizian gets him back. He missed the shot on Godby. Bomb plant happens as a result, and suddenly a round that is possible for Big. I'll stay on top of the bomb as well. Gob doesn't want to leave the position. Smoke goes down to Bankstairs. That will allow him. Oh, it's a missed thrown. Big gap. Gob could at least hold that. But it can't transition him back toward the truck, which means Tizian pretty much has to cover the right side. Twist is going to push the flames. Gets by Godby. He heard the tick, but he couldn't do anything of it. That smoke again is going to cost them because Twist walks out, send the defuse to come in.
Jesus Christ, when you get presented with an arse like that, you got to slap it. That was a big miss right there. Could have all fallen apart, and that would have been Liquid definitely feeling it. The pressure mounting in that moment. Oh, the frustration. But this is it. That plant helped the dire straits, the money situation you did allude to, so they're able to get 3 AKs up. 2 MAC-10s are going to have to supplement the buy. And this double AWP setup appears to be the solution for Liquid.
Taco goes aggressive.
4-man
Series point for Liquid. Big will still play tomorrow. Elige swings around, does find one next trades, but that means further regression because Taco and Twist know that means they can get into the equation. And, oh, incendiary out toward mid. 1 just remaining. It's Tabson down. As I was saying, Big will still play tomorrow, but it'll be the 3rd place decider match. Liquid, meanwhile, will go on to play Energy in the grand final.
Broken that streak of losing Overpass time and time again. They were 0-5 coming into this series. able to grab their first victory. Important map to win. Overpass now, showing that they can compete a little bit more. More than likely will be NRG's pick tomorrow within that grand final. So positive signs here for Liquid in more than one way.
Shake hands.
Big did have a chance to 2-0 this with that Inferno
Absolutely
game.
did.
They really had a chance to take that first map. But good signs from them, you know, seeing everybody step up in different moments. In the first map, we had Smooya and tabseN getting a lot done. In the second map, GodB stepping up, having a huge performance. Lots of good calls, but Liquid too strong. Coming into this, they're always the favorite to make it to the grand final. This tournament has gone as expected. You know, we had the top 4 go through as expected. We have the 2 finalists that we expected.
Yeah, well, and tomorrow Hellraisers versus Big is actually going to be an interesting one for me because, again, Hobbit's going to have yet another game that he can play into, but it's going to be for less consequence. So maybe they can just kind of let him get loose a little bit.
Sure.
Maybe try a few things out with him a little bit. I'm going to be watching that. It's hard to change mid-tournament, obviously, but I just think saying, like, all right, you're playing bot next door, we've asked you to be passive, like, go ahead and be aggressive maybe. Just change that
Experiment
little
a bit
bit.
more.
Exactly. Because then not only do you have the entire results of this tournament and the demos from this tournament of interjecting him in a position, but now you can actually start to flirt with it and have that to look at as
Sure.
well. So I think that could be kind of cool for Hellraisers.
Especially
tomorrow.
going into EPL, which begins in 2-3 days
Yeah,
from now,
that's
right?
right. Yep.
So both those teams are going to be there. Actually, all 4 of the teams who are still left to play again tomorrow are going to be in the EPL final. So we're getting a nice little prelude, I suppose.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to talk to Zeus, who's going to the finals against NRG. The 2 North American orgs will play tomorrow. It's Zeus standing by.
It's an All-American Grand Final here in Malta as Team Liquid take down BIG and head on to meet NRG in the Grand Final. With me is the coach. Now Zeus, on Inferno, for a moment it looked like they had their number there, but in the end you brought it back. What happened there?
We gave them a lot of respect in the beginning. We had a different kind of game plan and we didn't follow it necessarily the way we wanted it. They played well, but as soon as we got a rhythm going, we were able to take our map. It is one of our strongest maps, and we should have had more control on it. So learn for tomorrow. We need to get it better.
Now, it was a different story on Overpass, as you've gotten into a strong start and then closed it out. How much preparation did you put into that map?
Honestly, we weren't expecting them to pick Overpass. We thought they'd come with us too. So it sounds generic, but we just played our game. We really didn't have anything to go off what they did, so we just tried to play the best fundamentals that we could and taking a few risks, and it seemed to work out pretty well in this Overpass.
Now tomorrow, you got NRG waiting for you in that grand final. Bit of a domestic rivalry. How do you feel going into that?
It's going to be a hell of a fun match, I guarantee you. NRG, we do have a rivalry. Pretty much sure that we know the maps, they do too. This time, none of the teams are going to be tired, and we're both going to be competing for the trophy, so let's just go for it.
Liquid taking Big down and going on to meet NRG. Let's throw it over to our analysts and hear their thoughts.
Hear from Zeus there at the end. A confident Team Liquid do it in a style. 2-0, and even on Overpass, right, it came down to just the straight heads-up fights. And Maniac and Mitch one last time. Let's just start with this. Maniac, you were not just 100% right, but it was not the tactical warfare, right, in terms of Liquid on their T side, run and gun, happy to take 1v1 duels. The confidence was starting to shine a bit there.
Yeah, definitely. The beginning of Overpass was what I feared for Big. It looked like Liquid had absolutely no respect for any tactical aspect. Very easy to get first frag, and then once you're in 5v4, it doesn't really matter that you have, a very tactical domination on the map. You still know how to play. They have the principles to basically outmaneuver Big, even on a map like Overpass. So the beginning looked very scary, and then I was impressed. Big actually put a fight into it. And I didn't know that they had it in them. I thought after that first map and the beginning of Overpass, I could see just a 16-5 going down. But no, Big fought all the way, and I was very close. And in that sense, you have to commend them for that. But, sometimes in Counter-Strike, logic is respected, and people like us actually say stuff that makes sense. I think we have to be very happy when it happens and just enjoy it. The teams that were supposed to make the final, make the final.
Yeah, it's what we expected from the start. And one of the problems, I think, for Big is that they've all stepped it up, but at different times, right? Chad alluded to it earlier. GodB had a great game alongside tabseN here. We've seen Next throughout the rest of the tournament. And it just hasn't happened in synchronicity for them. And right here, just even 5% better performance from one player could have helped it, whereas you look at Liquid, Twist was having that poor performance for most of the tournament, and now he steps it up, and they take the series. They're going to find themselves in the final against NRG tomorrow. But you do got to remember, you know, that game, we said Hellraisers and Big would probably be a close match, the casters were saying. It'd probably be an interesting one anyways, and there's 10K on the line for that, right? You get 5K for fourth, 15K for third, so it's definitely going to be one that both of the teams are coming out with 100%.
And I think it's a thing for both teams, right, to say, look, we expected these 4 teams to be making it to the semi-finals, but who's going to edge it out right in that third place decider? We don't get so many third place deciders, so I'm actually quite excited to just see how it will go down, just because of how crazy this tournament's been overall. But Liquid here, they look dominant. They showed us why they deserve to be in the grand finals, and now we've got that North American dream, right? It's NRG going up against Liquid. It's a rematch. It's a story that's becoming a very kind of usual sentiment that we get to see here between these two, and this is where it really is going to count, right? It doesn't matter that NRG managed to lose it out last time around, right? Because it will be a complete reset now.
Absolutely, and I think Chad said something really interesting at the desk that Overpass is probably going to be on the line.
Yeah.
And this for Liquid could be very important, right? They have one good experience on Overpass. Obviously, their numbers overall are not so good on this map. But, you know, beating Big in a pretty convincing manner, knowing that NRG are absolutely going to jump on that. You know, it bodes well for the Vito because I'm 99.999% sure that Overpass is going to come in the final.
If they just go for their standard bans, right, we should understand how this is going to play out. But is there a potential, right, where Liquid just go really cheeky and just be like, yeah, we're just going to take Overpass away from you? Could you see a world where that happens?
Well, I would have to look at the veto again, but I think if for Liquid to veto Overpass would be them opening up to play the map that they usually all the time perma veto, and I don't think you want to go into a grand final of any tournament thinking we're going to play a map we haven't played in the past 3 months. So I would be very surprised if Liquid vetoes Overpass.
Now, we're talking about, right, not trying to single out players, but Smooya, obviously, we spoke about him alongside Next being the more emotional players on this big lineup. Sadly, Smooya had that slow start right when he was playing. He just couldn't really get things working together. It was Tabson who was more of the heavy hitter with the AWP in hand. And maybe it just comes down to positions, right? We were talking about it a little bit there. I spoke to Christian Lenz. He confirmed is like since after Bello, so just before we got to Cologne, Smooya, especially on Overpass, focused on the B site with it, doesn't play long anymore, doesn't get that opportunity. So it's a different dynamic there, but it hasn't allowed them to have him open up so successfully.
Yeah, I think if you look at the first couple of rounds, right, Smooya was within the first 8 or 9 rounds, rocking up 3 kills when they had a couple of buy opportunities. You know, we say it a couple of times, you've seen Cirque drop off on NRG, right, but those were in the games where they were constantly being controlled on the economic side, where they'd get one buy, which was rifles, and then they'd win a round and get reset and so on, so the AWP would never come out. But that wasn't really the case here. Just being shut down by Liquid again and again. I think maybe it could play into it a little bit, being so close in the first match. I mean, right, we said he's an emotional player in general. He was having a great performance towards the end of Inferno. And then to actually lose that might have swept into his emotion a little bit. You know, it felt like the grass was just cut from under their feet at that point, and we went on to see that slow start. And it's a shame in such a close series. You know, if that was a best of 5, you could even see Big coming back into it on different maps, but it's the way the cookie crumbles, right?
No, I agree. Obviously, when we talk about emotions, we make hypotheses. We never know exactly what happened in the brain, but definitely could have played a factor. I also think that the rhythm that Liquid was putting in at the beginning of the game didn't really make it easy for an AWP to pick frags. You know, because when you think about it, the way an AWP on Overpass is working is you basically hope and disrupt the map control from your enemy, right? They take areas, you punish them for it, then you play a little bit safer. That's how AWPs would usually do it on Overpass. But Liquid were playing so fast and they were so aggressive and so free-falling, I mean, free-going in every direction that suddenly it becomes extremely complicated for an AWPer to have impact. Because whenever you see one player, you probably see 3 players and you get instantly traded. We could see him miss a few shots here and there. But yeah, I mean, emotions, rhythm, there are many, many factors that come in, I think.
I think one of the things there, you've seen the results for today, right? And coming into it, if we had to make predictions, they're not too surprising, right? The thing is, I don't think it's fair to see that 2-0 for NRG, 2-0 for Liquid without the context of these were close games. You know, it wasn't a very one-sided affair a lot of the time. And I was pretty happy to see the Liquid game in particular, you know, just being so close. It's nice to have that contestation. A shame we didn't reach 3 maps on any of those best of 3s, because I think a different day, a different player showing up that wasn't really awake at the start, we could have seen a 2-3 map series.
Yeah, and I think maybe not so much on the Hellraisers game against NRG, but definitely Liquid versus Big had that potential, had that opportunity, but we still saw some really solid Counter-Strike here. And I think, at least especially from Big's perspective now, you can look at this and say, okay, look, we went up against the second best team in the world. We did a pretty all right on Inferno. We got some things to work on, but it's all something where we can take away as a positive. If they'd got blown out, right, and just completely overran, then you might have gone, okay, look, this is a little bit crazy. But here you have it now, right? The graphic is on your screen. It's going to be NRG and Liquid going head-to-head in the grand final tomorrow for the first ever Supernova CSGO Malta event. And then we also have our third place decider of HR going up against Big. It is going to be an exciting, action-packed day today. And let me just say as well, big shout-out to all the Maltese fans coming by. The crowd was getting hyped. We saw Smooya chants galore. as every time he even just one fragging around, Smooya was being shouted out there. But got a lot of love for this community coming down and actually supporting their own event. And hey, hopefully many more to come. You've got the times on your screen now as well, kicking off exactly as we did today. So probably about 4:15 CET. We'll be doing our analysis as we get into the games. It'll be Hellraisers versus Big, and then it's 8 p.m. NRG versus Liquid, and that is a game that we cannot wait to see. We spoke about it before, right? And Liquid, they looked very strong, especially very convincing on the final map where they just dominated NRG. We know damn well the first thing NRG is doing right now is going, cool, drawing board, practice room, let's go, let's be ready for this.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have, each team is going to have material to build upon, right? This is where this grand final is so interesting, because now everyone is going to use their time as good as they can, prepare for the game. There's going to be mind game around the maps. I think both teams are pretty much aware of everyone's veto. There's going to be preparation into it. And this is going to be a big test for NRG, right? I'm pretty sure that Liquid have more than one plan. They have many sequences of rounds they can put together. Is that also the case for NRG? That's going to be a big test. Liquid are going to come prepared. But definitely we're going to see a banger of a game. That is for sure.
Certainly. Well, guys, thank you very much. We've had a quicker day than maybe expected for us here, but it has been a good day of Counter-Strike with plenty more to come tomorrow. It's grand final time tomorrow. Make sure you join us. There's plenty more action to come. We've got the third place decider as well. Don't forget to type !! giveaway in chat as well. You can win one of the signed t-shirts from us all. But that's us done and dusted. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you may be doing, and we'll see you tomorrow.